Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Blue. Wait, I'm not there though. I'm over here. What is going on? Welcome back to the Deep Blue, guys. Well, not really the Deep Blue right now. We are in the light pinks. In the airy, windy pinks over at the cherry blossoms here just for today. Welcome back, guys. Good to see you guys back here. Thanks for waiting right outside the Deep Blue. Because you guys complained about the push-ups, I brought it back. But I also added some cooldown to it because I was like, oh man, they were like kind of spamming it the other time, so I added some cooldown. But welcome back to the Deep Blue, everyone. It's good to see you guys here as usual. Familiar faces, familiar names, and familiar conversations. That's like the best of everything, right? Let me greet you guys who have gotten here. Let's see. I'm sorry for being late, by the way. I'm kind of late because I was out buying beer, not gonna lie. So I got home a little bit late because I bought some beer. Not much, but like I bought 2 cans. But I'm not drinking beer right now. I'm drinking wine. It's for like tomorrow. I felt like having a Guinness, so totally not because I watched the Guinness TV series. Totally not. But yeah, I bought a Guinness and I think an IPA. Yeah, what's the other one? Who are the first people here? Let me see. Let me see. I see that there is Jason being the first here at the Deep Blue, followed up by Kyle, and also Sven being the third. Ghost of Mentai on YouTube side, and Wapper being the fourth, and Ray being the fifth. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. And I also see Valkyrie. And also, Cross9er, Sloth So Super, Vivian, how are you? And Ayo, I like cheese, Zoe, Bitter Everything, Peter is here as well, hello darling, and, who else is here? Scarling is here, and where the fuck are my notifications? Ah! Scarling! Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Super chato, arigato, akaho, arigato. A new Monster Energy flavor at the shrine. Actually, Scarling, can you like leave heat patches at the shrine? But thank you for your offering towards the shrine, Scarling. And my blessing to you is that when you get back to work later, there's your responsibilities are not piling. Like, it's okay. Like, you won't have to overtime. That is my blessing to you. I to see Dash Unknown and Pal. And did I miss anyone here in chat? Scarlet is here, of course. And Zosh Shadow. Shoo. And Coffee Acorn. Gyrison. Faris. And Sounds of Clockwork. Nicolitsis. Deca. And I don't think I missed anyone. I think that's everyone, hey? I think I didn't miss anyone. Can we stop with the gay jokes, by the way? I know like it was a popular thing and funny thing like 10 years ago or something, but nowadays some people are uncomfortable with it. So can we stop? It's not as if I didn't make those jokes like 10 years ago, I know, but like I think nowadays if we have a choice to not do certain things at our slight inconvenience but for the comfort of others, why not, right? So let's not do those sort of jokes, hey? Also, I have some, my body hurts and I have a bunch of wine with me, like a half glass of wine. So cheers guys, cheers. Oh, the wine has gone kind of bad. Yeah. Yeah, my body really hurts. You know how yesterday I was doing RDLs? I had a protein shake today and my body still hurts. My lower back hurts like fuck. And you know, when your lower back hurts, it hurts to kind of do anything, to kind of bend down and to walk upstairs and everything. I really feel so fucking old today. I've been like clutching the back of my lower back for like the whole day whenever I do a lot of things. Like when I get up from my chair, my seat, and when I walk walk like those very old men with a cane, you know, like old grandpas with a cane. And I'm like, oh my God. Come on. We're supposed to be ancient and sort of supposedly immortal here. God damn. And the funny thing is that, look, I forgot, for some reason I always forget that when people buy stuff for you on Throne, my Twitter is connected to Throne. So whenever someone buys me stuff on Throne, it appears on Twitter. And I put like maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes before stream, I put a Throne item for a heat patch. And someone bought it, and then I just realized, oh fuck, did I just announce to the world that I'm fucking old? My age is showing so bad. So on Twitter, literally, it's announced to the world that someone bought me a heat patch because like I asked for it, which I'm gonna buy tomorrow, and my body is hurting. Yeah, I've taken out the RR redeems because, well, I just don't feel like doing them anymore. Yeah. No, it's not that I need to fix it. I've just taken it out. You guys can have the push-ups. I want you guys to stop having me do RS for push-ups. Just do the fucking push-ups. You don't need me to do push-ups, dude. These damn kids these days get on my lawn. Nah, come on. I'm immortal. Doesn't mean I'm old, you know? Being old is relative. When you're immortal, you're technically not old. You're just relevant, you know, always. That's what being somewhat immortal is. But welcome back to the Deep Blue, everyone. For you guys who are new here, I am Noira, the Sea Fox oneesan, who serves live talks on the rocks. And yes, it is oneesan. Yes. By fixing it, I mean transforming into push-up redeem. Oh yeah, it's a push-up redeem now. Yes, indeed. So, but you guys have to count your own push-ups, okay? And keep each other accountable, because I can't. You know I'm bad with numbers and I'm bad with memory, so that's like a double thing that I can't do. Immortal, not real. Eternally young? Yeah, but like always relevant, you know? Just because I have shit memory, right? Even though I may have been around for a while, supposedly, but I have shit memory. Right? So that means that I'm still quote unquote relevant, you know what I mean? We're moving towards utopia world with this one. No pain, no gain, belt dash. Try not to deadlift, it's a written rule of YMC. I just did deadlift yesterday. But yeah, it's not, thankfully it's not like injury or anything. It's just fucking my lower, those RDL muscles just never fucking trained for a really good while. And currently also I was doing like lat pulls as well, and my lats and my shoulders hurt like fuck too. Hi there, Dr. Hashman. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I am good. How are you? Nothing wrong with being comfortable. And hello, Legend of God Art. I have eerie ears, thank you. Oh, they're actually like water ears, but you can't really see them because I'm zoomed in right now. But yeah, how have you guys been? How has the week been? I had so much fun this week, especially with Town to City. And I can't wait to play Town to City again next week. Where when we play Town to City, I think we'd be able to try out the new stage, which is the farming stage. So we're gonna go through a Farmville era. Oh my god, me referencing Farmville shows age. I say sometimes the things that I say, despite, you know, having shit memory, I still remember like the recent years, right? So some of the things I say, I feel like some of you guys don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Like, what the fuck is MSN Messenger? What the fuck is Neopets? Or the fuck is Hotmail? Oh yeah. Can you hear from both set of ears? No, only one. These other ears that I have, my Sea Fox ears, they're decorative. They're for marketing purposes. They're for commercial purposes. Would you guys watch me if I did not have those Sea Fox ears? No, right? Exactly. Your girlie here knows how the market works, okay? So thus I keep things that keep me attractive and keep people clicking into the stream. Oh, people like anime girls with animal ears? Then yes, that's the way we shall go. Yesterday I went to a Halloween thing with friends. Oh, what was it? Like a drinks and Halloween sort of thing? Or like clubbing? Or what was it? I've been thinking about quitting my job because some bad stuff happened. Felt real bad, was upset. But now after all that, I feel as chill as I could be. I wonder how this works. Okay, bad stuff happened, like... bad stuff happened to you, or bad stuff happened because of you. Wouldn't it be cool if you could pick where you hear from? That's crazy. That's like 4D sound or something. Toms, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Those Sea Foxes are oral farming. Thank you. I don't know they were ears. I thought they were horns. I'll show you. They're ears. It's because they're very tall, so I don't get to show them much. But like, and mostly I'm zoomed in, right? So you guys don't get to see it as often. But they're ears, see? When I smile, it goes down. Proof that they're ears, guys. Hold on, let me... How zoomed in was I? Just this... Was I this zoomed in? I think I was this zoomed in. Yeah. An old friend of mine is getting married and I haven't seen him in years. Looking forward to it. Ah, you younglings, you should revel in these times that your friend gets married and then give you a reason to kind of go visit them and see them after such a long while. Because you'll come to realize as you age that you don't have many reasons to kind of gather and meet your old mates. So relish in the thought of that when the chance just happenstance upon you. So if you have just revel in that arc of yours, that era of yours where your friends are getting married. You'll come to appreciate it when you're older, and you're like, later on you're gonna be like, I wish I still had friends who are getting married, because it's nice to have a reason to kind of gather with a big group of people. We went to haunted house attractions. Was it scary? How scary was it? Was it like themed? Was it like, I don't know, crazy scary porcelain dolls or something? Or was it gory? Long shifts, bureau breathing me in the neck. Voltage on the tips of my hands is tingling. Just a normal week. Time to get a T and a B. Yeah, it is going towards the end of the week though, so guys, hold on just a tad bit longer and you guys can have that pop a cold one after that, hey? Because it is coming towards the end of the week. I think you'll still look hot in a realistic way without your fox ears. Yeah, I would like to think so. But hey, there's no shock factor if I don't have the ears, right? It's a pretty cool model, thank you. Bad stuff happened on work and I was really thinking if I should quit it. But now I'm in doubts because the situation doesn't seem that bad. Then maybe you shouldn't. It's up to you really. I don't know the full context, and I don't think I should know the full context. It's up to you. So I don't think I can say a lot about that then. But as I always put it, I don't know if you guys have been long enough here. Been here long enough, you guys might know one of the things that I say often, which is it's not awkward until you make it awkward. That's why some things, after a while, you realize that it's not as bad as it seems. I'm in my 50s. When I'm at the gym, you have to watch your limitations. Oh, truly. Now, deadlifts and everything like that gets really dangerous at the gym. And you got to be really careful when you're at the gym, when you're, you know, in your later years. It's even safer if you can work with like a coach or something like that to kind of help you watch what you're doing and your posture and everything like that. But it is good that you're in your 50s and you're still active and going to the gym. It really is. You have 4 ears. Do they function differently? I told you, these fox ears are literally like decorative. They just make me look pretty and kind of scary. And kind of like, oh, omnipotent and kind of powerful. I disagree. I have never liked big groups of people. Even when we had gaming weekends, we were multiple smaller groups having fun gaming together. When I say big groups, it's like collectively big groups. It doesn't mean that you can't break off into smaller groups. But regardless, big group or small group, it gives you a reason to kind of gather. That's what weddings do. That's also what funerals do, unfortunately. So I mentioned before in like my membership stream that I went to a few funerals recently, and it was despite the sadness, it was kind of nice to be able to kind of see people I haven't seen in a long time. But yeah, the mourning was real, but it's nice. It really gives you also a real reminder of cherishing the people who are still around you and cherishing what life that you have right now. Good evening, Jade. These days, I imagine you at the club dancing to What the Foxes. I never danced to that song. That song is very weird. No. But then again, I dance to everything when I'm drunk. So it depends. How are the yaps so far? We haven't really said much. We just started not too long ago. They had like different themes for one was like zombies, CDC, haunted forest, and poltergeist stuff. Which one was the scariest, Jason? Sometimes even if you very rational and cold person, life can still hit you with emotional strain, and in moments like that, it's good to just live through it for some days. Let your feelings cool down. Of course, because after all, our feelings are reflexive and instinctual, right? It's not as if we have control over them. So sometimes it is good to kind of give it a little bit of downtime to process your feelings. So the term like processing your feelings is real. Figuring out why you feel that way. And sometimes there really just is no answer to why you're feeling that way, but that also comes with realization. So yes, feelings and everything, they're instinctual things. And I think it's normal for us to want to take some time to kind of just chill with it and see how it pans out. Tried out that time left app. Oh my god, they should have fucking sponsored me. Look at how many titlings I have, like trying out that app. But nice. Did you have any nice conversations? Honestly, with time left, it's not like always. It's kind of RNG, of course, because it is like meeting strangers, and not all strangers will click with you, right? But it's good that it provides a platform to kind of try hanging out with strangers. For you guys who don't know what time left is something that I've been actually talking about on stream a lot, because well, let me drink. Not a lot, but I mentioned it a few times, because we know that in current modern life we lose third spaces, right? Meaning we don't really have much reason to meet people anymore. Or strangers even. We don't have many reasons to kind of go out and go to some communal area and have a random chat with strangers. So the time left app is kind of the stopgap measure for that right now in our modern life. It is an app that lets you have dinner with strangers. It's basically Tinder, but like for strangers looking for friends. But of course, there are people on the app who want to find someone to date, but that's something out of anyone's control. Right, but the general objective of the app is that it's for finding friends, and so you have dinner with strangers, and then you can go out with them for drinks. I've tried it a few times. It's quite nice, you know. It's nice to, like I mentioned before, to give yourself a reason to go out and meet new people, because I think it's just a thing that happens, right? The older you get, the smaller your circle gets, and then the lonelier you would get also. For a mortal being, how do you handle seeing the cycles of life and death go through with people around you as you stay ageless and don't really change? How do I handle it? I don't really handle it. I just forget. Sven. That's how you might say, I mean, me easily forgetting stuff is both a blessing and a curse. Right, but yes, that's how I process it. I forget and I accidentally distract myself with something else, and then those feelings just are led astray, and I don't remember about it anymore. Every once in a while, of course, like I might remember some things, and it might put me down for a tad bit, but usually after a while of like handling these sort of feelings or repetitive feelings and thoughts, you get better at dealing with them. At least that's how it is for me. I can get drunk, yes I can. But I drink in moderation these days, so I don't really get drunk. Zombie was the scariest. I remember when I went to Universal Studios Osaka and it was Halloween and there were zombies everywhere. That shit was fun. Hold on guys, let me bring you guys over to the shrine real quick. Let me put table con, lower table con a tad. Your pole memory is a blessing? Yeah, it is. Daytona Beach, Florida, doing push-ups. What do you mean you're doing Halloween on the beach doing push-ups? That's kind of crazy, dude. That's some jacked man activities. Hold on. Are you trying to Baywatch or something? Trying to compete against The Rock and Zac Efron? Holy shit. Hi there, Jack John. How are you? No worries, man. The easiest way to naturally meet new strangers, is to go to places that's sharing the same interests, like any sports place or creative club. Yeah, definitely that is one of the easier ways to do it, but also sometimes it's hard depending on the area. That's why rather than, yeah. So that's why when talking about finding or trying to expand your social circle, I have recommended in a video and also in our general talks here on at the Deep Blue. I talk about, say, going to your local hobby community, like if you like TCGs or like Magic the Gathering or like Dungeons and Dragons, find a local community that does that. Or if you like certain sports, like, I don't know, Muay Thai, that's what I like. Doing Pilates or doing high rocks, F45, that sort of shit, you can find communities for those. Or even like jogging. You can find a community of joggers. So definitely it's not just via the app. There are still some ways you could still hang out with other people, like things that require you to be physically present, such as what I mentioned before, or like yeah, things that require you to be physically present. If not, you can try time left. And apparently I'm not really that much of a couch potato. 2 weeks of gym and I deadlift 80 kgs and bench 110 kgs. Not bad for a tideling who hasn't trained for years. Do your arms hurt? Does your back hurt? Can you like, how painful is it for you right now? How's my favorite? Totally not a cult leader. Yeah, we're totally not a cult. We are doing great, Tyler. I'm having whatever's left of the white wine. I poured myself half a glass. I'm good, Rick Jazzy. How are you today? And hi, Ariashiki. I said it before, but you'd be great on Baywatch. Absolutely the Pam Anderson. Why? Is it because of my boobs? I don't know. I don't know how I'd look in slow-mo running on the beach with a red swimsuit and jiggle physics. I don't know how that'll look. I'll just hope that it looks great. And job interviews can suck pretty bad in different ways. Probably the worst is when no personal interest taken in you. Just wasting my time. But it is what it is though. You never know until you try. Right? This No Time Left sounds pretty cool. Oh, it's called Time Left. Yeah, it's an app. Once again, it's an app that lets you meet strangers over dinner. Check out if you have it in your city, because as I know it, they have it in most cities around the world. Give it a shot. You'll never know, right? Maybe you'll find someone who's cool to talk to. I found some people who I still chat with nowadays, even though I don't really like always partake in the app. But like sometimes we hang out outside of it, or sometimes we hang out for like other activities, such as I went yoga with some of the girls I met there. Oh, well, like one girl in particular. I've gone yoga with her twice, and I've gone paddle with like some of the Time Left people for a bit too. So it's nice. It's nice. Oh, I'm also going to. You guys remember the fucking? Have I told you guys about it? I tweeted about it. I remember that. But I'm looking to go to like this retro anime weeb party / festival thing where it's for retro anime music. I am not gonna tell you guys what retro is because I don't want you guys to have a gander at my age. But it's retro enough that most of the people around me are too young. And I'm like, I can't ask any of my friends. None of my VTuber friends would know what the fuck this is. So, funnily enough, they had a group going on Time Left, in the Time Left WhatsApp group, where they were like, hey, does anyone want to join in for this retro anime party thing? And I'm like, oh yeah, nah, count me in. Count me in. So I am going to like this retro anime music party festival thing with Time Left people, and I'm going to wear a Shohoku jersey because I'm like, I think people are gonna cosplay because it's kind of like Halloween, and I'm like, I should cosplay, but I can't be fucked, so I just got a Shohoku jersey from Slam Dunk. And I'm like, yeah, I'll use that. That's like the easiest cheese to cosplaying. Or like low effort cosplay. Hi there, Kevin. We are doing good, ceaseless researcher. Just chilling as per usual. No pain, nothing hurts? Why would it hurt? Really? You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the most sedentary person either, but like, but to be fair, I don't really particularly like lifting weights, so maybe that's why everything was painful for me. I also had a protein shake, but it still hurts. I think it at least takes me, for now at least, like 2 to 3 days recovery. We'll all pretend to drown, so you'll come save us. But what if I just let you guys drown? Noira in Baywatch One Piece swimsuit. Wow. Yeah, you guys got your imagination going, huh? I went to a retro store for games. What did you find? Oh, I also recently went to like this bistro. This bistro slash diner, and there was Street Fighter Arcade. I played it and I lost on the second round. Like I played the solo because like it was early morning, and I was like only one of the 3 customers or something like that. I went there to get coffee, and whilst waiting for coffee, I played some Street Fighter. It was super fun. You know, it's like the joystick and like 6 buttons, and I'm like, I didn't know they had so many buttons as I remembered it when I used to play arcade Street Fighter games. It was like 1 joystick and 2 buttons, and then this time I see like 6 buttons. What the fuck? So that was new to me, but I lost against Dalsim. Fucking Dalsim. From what I have experienced, most people don't have personal interest in you, especially in job environment, until you prove that you're capable of doing stuff. Ah, yes. And if we're talking about interviews, a part of it is also performative, you know? I mean, it's when you do interviews, it's kind of, you kind of got to pitch yourself. And thus, it's kind of performative in a sense, meaning how you dress matters, how you handle yourself matters, how you talk matters, the confidence that you project matters. These sort of performative things matter. I mean, if I was the interviewer and I was like seeing you for like maybe 30 minutes for the interview, anything that you do will matter. So it's very performative in that sense. Yeah, I think interviews, honestly, it really depends on what job you're about to do, but yeah, most of the times it's not the credentials that matter as much. Sure, what projects you've handled and everything matters, but like I've done interviews before too. Usually what I look for is if it's like a job description where they gotta be a team player, then I gotta see like how their people skills are. Like from this slight meeting, how does their EQ seem like? Can they work with other people? And I'll be asking them stuff like, have you worked in a team before? How big was your team? What was your role in the team? How did you coordinate within the team and everything like that? So it's much less about the credentials. Like honestly, when I interviewed people, I barely saw the CV. I was just like, yeah, good job history. And I just skim it and I'll be like, yeah, let's try this guy. And then mostly everything else is more about their communication skills, I guess. And certain quote unquote performative aspects. But yeah, communication skills, I think, does matter the most. Because if you think about it, with every job that you do, if you're bad at communicating, you're going to do a shit job. Communication matters a lot. You could be the smartest guy in the world, but if you can't communicate what you're trying to do, there's no way for you to be able to coordinate shit or like turn something within your head into reality. Mega Drive Genesis controllers had 6 buttons. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one was like more of a refurbished arcade system or something. Like it looked very new and everything. You'll save us because you're a benevolent goddess. Even if titlings are faking unconsciousness, you will give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Are you like... What is this? What is this psychology? Like, are you guys dreaming? Sure, are you... Keep that for the AU and fanfics. I am a benevolent goddess. Would I do mouth-to-mouth to titlings for resuscitation? No, I'd tell someone else to do mouth-to-mouth. Why would I have to be the one who does mouth-to-mouth? I have my ways to tell someone else to do it for me. My interview was online, but remember that the HR was asking how much I was worth. Damn, this is my first job. Okay, that's like dehumanizing though. Who would ask that? That's crazy. That's bad. You have an interview on Monday? Yeah, I think, so yeah, remember when it comes to interviews, think about like the performative aspects. Like how would you pitch yourself if you were a product, right? And like how do you project value? Because that is like the most direct way you can kind of sell yourself to someone. Like what's your value? Meaning like, what can you do to help with whatever is going on, or within your role or job scope. And the other one is, of course, communication. Communication matters so much. I go into interviews with a lot of enthusiasm, and I just try and ask stuff and respond to questions. But if the enthusiasm is lacking from whomever I'm hiring is, I quickly lose interest, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like I'm like okay with enthusiasm, because I do know that some people job for a job, you know what I mean? So I know like some people can't fake those sort of things, but like for me it's mostly really just will they work well in whatever job or role they're supposed to be in. If they're in a role where it requires them to do teamwork, will they do well in that scenario? How's their EQ? How's their communication? I don't know so much about enthusiasm, but sure, it helps. But like for me personally, I don't really look that much into it. Thank you for the hydrate. And Duxter, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Ikazen would do mouth to mouth if that meant being first. I mean, Ikazen wouldn't even sacrifice his cheesecake to be first. What makes you think that he'd do a mouth to mouth? You're too clever. Of course I am. I am an almighty sea fox supposed goddess after all, true. I think job interview should be cold and professional first. I don't know. I don't think about these things when I do interviews. But then again, I don't really, you know, I do interview. The times that I do interviews, I'm usually pretty lax. Like I remember I interviewed this one guy and we just started talking about, I asked like, oh, what do you do during like your off times? Because what someone does for like when they're not working does kind of explain a little bit about themselves, right? And he was like, oh yeah, no, I just play like some MOBA games on my phone. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do you play? And then we just started talking about gaming, and I asked him what role he plays. And for me, because particularly I'm a gamer, what someone does when they're gaming and what role they play in gaming kind of matters. So I would just ask around that, whatever's relevant to them. Like for example, if they like traveling or hiking, I ask them, oh, where have you been? How was it? And yeah, those kind of things. Because like I think these small things kind of can help you kind of see into a person better. But of course that is on top of like the other more technical side of things that I would ask about. But then again, I'm not a conventional interviewer, I feel like. Even like when I had to do an interview with my other colleague together, he was like laughing his ass off because of the way I was doing my interview. I'm very casual when I do interviews, but for certain environments I'm very casual. But like when I have to be stern, I do it in a more stern sort of way. Good morning, Lucky Roo. Best response to how much are you worth? Question is, go memorize the value of organs and rattle off the numbers. Now results may bring varied results. That's crazy. How much are you worth? How the fuck would I answer that? I'd be like, excuse me? Why would you ask me that? Shouldn't you be asking me instead about whether I could handle your job and like the problems and your problems and like how I'd make solutions to your problems? I think I would be offended, honestly. Damn. Yeah, I've never had that question asked to me. Maybe it is culture dependent too. I'm part German, part Slavic, part Kazakh, so no time to joke at the first meeting. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm just generally very casual when it comes to meetings for certain roles. But for other roles, I look, you remember how I say that meetings can be, I mean, you know, you meet someone for the first time. Everything is a lot of being performative because it's first impression. You don't really know this person, right? This is gonna sound very shallow, but like in certain interview situations, I deliberately show my tats. Because I'm like, just because I'm female doesn't mean that I can't be tough. You know, that sort of performative aspect. Because at least in my culture, some people still kind of have their doubts on such things, right? Especially in some particular industries that you work in. For example, tech. It's still mostly male-dominated field, right? So with certain situations and certain interviews, I would do that, so they would take me more seriously. What? One hell of a sales pitch? I don't know. That's something I do though, but that's also, I also do that because well, it's my right to do that. I'm the interviewer after all. Had to vet an interview yesterday for a senior position. I kept asking mid-level questions and the dude would just run around the topic and answer super vaguely. Oh, that sucks! It's obvious when communication is poor. You're right. Oh, I hate that happening. When I was applying for my first job, I was really afraid if I couldn't fit into my work team. So I tried to be friends with everyone. And as I thought that if you can't be friends with your colleagues, then your job will suck. But lately, as I've been working more, you notice that you can... Yes, no, you don't have to befriend your colleagues. Like, the colleagues that I worked with back then, I wasn't... Honestly, I feel like generally you work best with people when you're not friends. Because, you know, there's a reason why people say that you shouldn't date at the workplace. Because sometimes... because... working is mostly about professionalism and everything like that. And when other things are involved, such as, oh, you're worried about hurting this other person's feeling because maybe you have some stakes with them, like you're in a relationship or you're good friends with them, it can muddy some decisions and it's not good. So, I mean, I feel like working is the best when you're acquaintances, but you're not like particularly in bad terms with everyone. You also have to be in good terms with everyone. So, this is also something that I think a lot of people don't do, which I don't know why they don't do this, but think of it this way. If you get someone pissed at you, they will be less likely to ever help you or listen to you. So you should always be kind to the people around you, help if you can. And don't piss them off. Say sorry if you got to. Fuck your ego, man. What matters more, I think to me at least, what matters more is that I can perform and do whatever I need to, and I can get the help that I need to when needed. And that means not pissing people off. So I don't understand those kind of people who would yell at people. Honestly, I'm not really much of a yeller. I would sit down with someone sternly and objectively tell them what's wrong and how to improve and everything like that and what not to repeat. But I don't really yell at people. Funnily enough, even though I'm that kind of person where I don't yell at people, I mostly just sit down with them and tell them blatantly and bluntly what they did wrong, what they think they did wrong, and what they could do to improve, how I can help, and these sort of discussions when someone does something wrong, and tell them that, look, this is your first warning. If you do this again after a first warning, I'm gonna have to, like, there's gonna be serious penalties. That's what I do. I have actually made people cry, which is weird. And I'm like, why? I didn't ask them why they're crying, but I'm like, I'm not even yelling at him or anything, but okay. It is what it is. But I prefer that sort of tone when talking to people. Your tattoos are really cool. Some of the best designs I've seen. Do you have any tattoos on your back? No, I don't have tattoos on my back. The only tattoos I have in IRL are on my ribcage and my wrist, which I also have on the model, and the arm, which I also have on my model. But yeah, I don't have any back tats. I like keeping my back clear. Plus, I've run out of ideas for like why I should tattoo. Because usually when I do tattoos, I only do tattoos if like I want to attach a meaning to that tattoo. And it'd be like, okay, this is paying homage to something and it's something that I want to have forever on my body. I've run out of reasons to do that. So thus, I haven't really gotten any more tattoos. Respect is priceless at the workplace. Even if you do not like each other, respect will keep you close. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Treat everyone nicely and kindly. Treat everyone humanely. It'll go a long way. I remember that I've been pushed to the hot spot regarding the company. Why? The one who is supposed to be asked can't speak English except me who is fluent. Oh, it was stressful and lucky for me to do well. Well, you gone through that, and I can't say much about your context and situation because I don't know the full scenario of it. But you know what? Good job at getting through that. It happens. It happens. Like sometimes, you know, you get told off even though it's not your fault. You just got to understand that this person has a lack of control over their emotions and feelings. That's why they're like that. Most of the time, the people who are like that can kind of end up regretting it later on. If they don't, then they're just toxic as hell. Then you might want to question why you're still there. But most people, they just don't have... maybe they grew up with EQ not being a priority or not put in a situation where you gotta handle your EQ, you know? Meaning there are a lot of people out there who just can't manage their emotions and end up yelling at people and end up yelling at them and not communicating and then just get frustrated because shit isn't working out. I mean, at least for me, I have some empathy for those kind of people, or I've learned to have some empathy for those kind of people. It happens. And for... I hope they improve. That's what I hope for them. But alas, this isn't an ideal world. But it is what it is. That's how it is at the workplace, right? It's not as if you're like in charge of the workplace and you can fire them or anything, right? One thing that is inspiring is the relationship with the two hosts of Mythbusters. Oh yeah, Adam Savage and the guy with the beret, I forgot his name. They disliked each other and still could... Wait, they disliked each other? I didn't even know that. What? I thought they were like hella buddies. The only time I have ever yelled at someone was when I yelled at the manager and the entire team was in agreement with me. Yeah. I mean, I've yelled at someone before, but like I don't do it on a general basis. Like I think the last time I yelled at someone was like 3 years ago. Mate, your ass, your communication is doo-doo, and how can I help in order for you to be better? Yeah, basically, yeah, no. Is that how you imagine I do it when I'm trying to have a stern talk with someone? Sometimes I also understand that, you know, sometimes you can't think on your feet. You know what I mean? Sometimes there are some things that you can only think of once you kind of process it and you retrospect on it, and then you come up with a solution to it or a good response to it. So sometimes when people go quiet, I'll just dismiss them and be like, hey, think about it, and you can text me later about what you think about this, or like write something, or like give me a post-mortem, as we used to call it, right? Give me a post-mortem of whatever the fuck went down, and we can talk about it again later. Because I don't know, maybe I'm too empathetic, I don't know, but I like the way that I do this. Some people have told me that the way that I handle work sometimes is a little bit too empathetic, but well, it hasn't messed up. It hasn't been a problem thus far. Any advice for me since I'm thinking of having a tattoo on myself? If you're getting a temporary tat, you don't need any advice. Just do it. It goes away. I think I do have advice for people getting tattoo, like permanent tattoo though, because that should kind of last for your whole life. And getting a tattoo removed is more painful than getting a tattoo. Yeah. I signed up to be a mentor in my department, so let's see if I get a mentee. I'm very eager to see if I can mentor a younger person into developing their soft skills and tech skills. Which means like, oh yeah, I too had to mentor some people. Ah, fun times. Yeah, no, I'm sure you can, especially... No, I trust that you have good communication skills, Peter. I reckon you can. Plus, now you have a little childling, right? I'm pretty sure some certain things that you've learned from, you know, dealing with a little childling will help you in your efforts to teach someone else. Even though it's an adult, but you know, there are some things you learn along the way. You also learn a lot of patience, right? I would assume, with living with your little childling. So I'm just now arriving. Oh, good, Ninja. Good to have you here, Ninja. Could have also grown up in a family that was dysfunctional and were never taught EQ for multiple reasons. Exactly. Right, Jamie. Straight up hated each other at times. I did not know that. I only got mad and called someone stupid because I got tired of someone constantly messing up orders and poor skills on handling money. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, but one thing stands true. I think that a lot of people don't do, and I kind of wish that more people would do it. But also, I'm not like everyone's mom, so I'm not going to start telling everyone to do it. But in general, if someone does something and you never told them off or communicated it to them that that they should do something better, or like tell them where they're wrong and they should improve. If you've never communicated your concerns ever to this person who did something wrong, and this is not their first time, even if it's their first time, you can't really get mad at them. You know what I mean? For example, if you have no SOP or standards of procedure, and your team or the people around you or your other colleagues, your staff, just do whatever, right? And then they fuck up. And then you realize that the fuck up is because there were no standards in the first place, and you were the one in charge of standards. Can you really be mad at them? I mean, sure, you can be angry. It's valid for you to get angry, but you can't really fully blame them. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really realize or understand or kind of have empathy towards. Anyway, let me scroll down to chat. I'm missing out on... I'm so late on chat. Maybe true, but what I seek in work culture is everyone over-focused on empathy and feelings and very little on accountability. Being mature, owning mistakes, and being results-focused. Okay, over-focusing on empathy and like... Yeah, we don't want that either. Of course, we need a balance of that and accountability and numbers and performances, right? I think that's the general struggle of every workplace. Everyone wants to be a good boss. I would like to think that everyone would want to be a good boss. Because why wouldn't you? It's like, if you were given the choice of being a bad human or a good human, I think everyone would choose to be a good human, right? It's just that your boss and higher ups sometimes also don't have the skills to know what's right or wrong, or like the right direction to go towards. But in general, I do believe that everyone tries to be a good boss. But the journey of getting there is a very tough one indeed. So thus sometimes people might overcompensate on one thing and lack on the other. And it's just, that's why if you guys ever maybe one day start doing a business and start hiring, managing people is the hardest part of any business, I think. Managing people. It's not even like establishing the operations or like the standards and the technical side of things. Like code, easy to debug, easy to troubleshoot. People though, fucking complex. Like sometimes what they say can mean a lot of things, and what they tell you, they actually might mean something else, but they're just bad at communicating. Managing humans is tough. I would honestly manage, I'd prefer to manage systems any day over humans, but alas, work requires collaboration, right, most of the time. Anyway, why the fuck are we talking about office stuff? Shit. Though I do know that some of you guys are at work right now. But I just got back from work, so let's talk about something else. Tell me about it. I've had my share of overseeing people, and it's definitely the hardest job on the planet. Mad respect to anyone talented / skilled in managing people well. Oh, seriously, dude. The people who can manage people I have so much respect towards them. Like, there's a difference between a manager and a leader, right? I really respect leaders. I think managing is like technical. Leaders though, how to inspire people and motivate people and be able to kind of just coordinate between people, I think that's a mad skill. I don't even think I'm particularly good at it. That's something I would like to think I'm gradually learning though. But yeah, It's very hard and it requires a lot of patience that I usually do not have or I forget. That's a problem with retails. Good managers get promoted while the bad ones get kept at where they are, and that cuts off any new blood. Yeah. That's not just retail. I think it's in a lot of businesses. Let's talk barbecue. Give me your best recipes for grilling in the autumn. Oh my god! Are you having a barbie? Are you having a barbecue sometime soon? Is it with family? In your backyard, or are you guys going to a park or something? Damn, I miss having family barbecues. When I went back to Sydney, I had a family barbecue with my cousins there. It was super fun. I love how some of my cousins just brought out lawn chairs. I remember he was like, yeah. He was so proud. He was like, yeah, this is my lawn chair that I bring for my games of cricket. And I'm like, you bring a lawn chair to cricket? Why? And it's like, yeah, because like sometimes you just gotta wait out on the field, you know? And I'm like, I feel like I know nothing about cricket. He says, yeah, I mean, usually a day of cricket can be like up to 6 hours. You finish at like 6 p.m. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's literally the lawn chair with a little socket for your drink. Very cute. I don't know. Family barbecues are very wholesome. I don't play cricket. I don't. I play basketball. Not particularly good though. But no, I don't play cricket. The sports that I'm interested in are volleyball, which I can't play. Probably could, but I've never invested time in volleyball. And basketball, which I can play, but not well because I don't play it regularly. But I enjoy basketball. Oh, and paddle. That's what I do regularly nowadays. I really like playing paddle. You're officially done for the week. Now for a long weekend of touring Welsh castles with Mama Sloth for her funny number birthday. Welsh castles? That sounds amazing and grandiose. Be sure to take some pictures for us, Sloth, and share it with us on the Deep Blue Discord, eh? By the way, if you guys haven't already joined the Deep Blue's Discord, please do. The Deep Blue Discord is a place where you guys get to talk with each other with other titlings and also get to deliberately discuss some interesting topics. And also, it's fun. We also have movie nights. We had a movie night earlier today too. So if that sounds like your kind of vibe where it's just all around good vibe and good conversations, come over to the Deep Blue Discord. It's quite active and not spammy. It's at discord.gg/Noira. Funniest work thing I remember was coming in after having a dream where my coworker stuck his hand in the deep fryer and it just felt, what the fuck is that horror of a dream? And I was fully convinced that actually happened until I saw that. Bro, what the fuck? But I know those kind of dreams. They're scary as hell. Those dreams that just seem so fucking real, and then when you wake up, you're like, oh my god, did that actually really happen? Have you guys ever had those moments where you're talking with someone and you're like, yeah, remember that time we did this thing? And it's like, no, what the fuck? That never happened. And then you start questioning yourself whether that was a dream. That has happened to me, I think, at least a few times. I feel like, because I think I have very vivid dreams. Fajitas are my favorite things to grill. Although if the occasion permits, I do love a good rack of ribs. Ooh, ribs. Ribs is luxury, man. I just like, hot dogs and some mustard and barbecue sauce. That's my perfect grill idea. I don't really do much barbecue or grilling after all. But I do really like, some good grilled sausages. I can teach you volleyball, badminton, table tennis, competitive swimming, boxing, Muay Thai. Oh, Muay Thai I also already do. Golf I can somewhat do, but I'm not good at it. Badminton I can do. Table tennis I think I can. Swimming, competitive swimming, kinda. Billiard, pool, I can play pool, but I'm not good at it. I've never played cricket. I've played football Soccer and golf. Only played basketball recreationally, which baffles everyone I've met, considering my height. Yeah, you've told this before. I remember how everyone kind of nags you to play basketball because you're mad tall, right, Ninja? There's about 9 grams of microplastic in your brain, roughly the weight of a plastic spoon. Oh yes, there's a lot of chemicals nowadays in our bodies, you know, such as modern life. You also probably have some modicum of lead, and also what is that thing that waterproof stuff sheds? Well, let me try to remember it. Toxic chemical waterproof. What's it called? PFAs. Yes, PFAs. We also probably have some PFAs in our system. Yeah. So did you guys know that waterproof stuff is made out of basically toxic chemicals called PFAs? PFAs is like a group of toxic chemicals, and that's why even in like some of the purest water sources, you can find some PFAs within it. Like if you go to a mountain spring, you can, if you test the waters, there are some certain levels of PFAs, because people probably hiked to that area and like traveled there, and you know, whatever rain or moisture kind of just goes down their waterproof coat, gets to the ground, and then the groundwater kind of seeps, kind of absorbs that water and the PFAs, and then maybe it goes to get evaporated and turns into rainwater and goes into the spring. So PFAs is like one of the very malevolent and very widespread toxic chemicals that are kind of everywhere right now. And you guys know that? I watch a lot of random things on YouTube. But I do know that there are also some activewear and hiking outdoor brands that try to stave away from PFAs by seeking other technological advancements that do not require PFAs for waterproof stuff. Sorry, let me catch up with the chat here. I saw drinking, we're drinking. I'm drinking wine. Can we drink your tail? Why does everyone ask me that? Yes, you can. But what happens after that is not my responsibility. Technically, you can. It's like, can I drink seawater? Yes, you can. Oh, but whatever happens after you drink seawater, not my responsibility. Oh, was the bonk still on? I thought I turned it off. Because I can't do that right now. Let's turn it off. Let me do that real quick. There we go. I can't have animated stuff when I'm in this sort of screen. So does that mean I'm waterproof now? Cool, gotta stand outside in the rain for 4 hours. How would you be waterproof? Because you have PFAs in your body? That's crazy. That's mad. Noira's tail is certified clean water. We need it. It's seawater, by the way. Thank you for the hydrate, Jason. I'll drink some water, actually. I recently watched a video about lead poisoning, right? Apparently in certain parts of certain countries, lead was like a very big thing. And people who had bigger amounts of lead poisoning, you can kind of check via your teeth. Apparently your teeth kind of stores lead history, like browser history, and you can, if say lead was kind of rampant around the age that you were younger, like 9 or 10 or something, the doctor or the dentist can actually check from your teeth. And I believe in that video it was talked about how lead poisoning kind of gave mental fog. And a lot of people were like diagnosed with like mental issues and stuff. Like, was it ADD or something? ADHD or something? And there was like a possibility between the links of lead poisoning and ADHD and mental fog or something like that. It was a very interesting journalistic video. But yeah, that was a random fact, sorry. Friendly reminder that everything is edible at least once. That is true. Humanity just prefers to consume things that can be eaten multiple times. That is true, Ninja. When it comes to forever chemicals, Teflon is the big forever chemical I can point at that was known to be incredibly toxic and whatnot, but companies still decide to use it knowing it was incredibly bad. That is also true. I also watched a video from Veritasium about it, but as I heard it, the current, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but the current Teflon products that we have right now aren't as bad. Like, they don't shed like mad. It's just certain Teflon products back then that would shed the Teflon really badly. I don't remember the specifics though. I think I was kind of like, was I ironing clothes or something when I was listening to that video? I think I was. But yeah, Teflon, guys. Really bad for the environment, really bad for you. Sea Fox, pure seawater that looks like... What is pure seawater? What does pure seawater even mean? What's the salinity? Why? Why do you want to know my salinity? Every time I cry and get salty, the salinity increases. That's the salinity. My salinity levels are relative. I got it. We can take some seawater from your tail, freeze it into cubes for whiskey, and use the salt to make salt whiskey. I don't know. That's like taking someone's bathwater and selling it. I don't know what to think about that. Sea Fox Gamer got as much when? Oh my god, you're right. We don't have any gamer much. Because I'm not particularly a gamer, right guys? If you were to describe me, you wouldn't describe, oh, Noira the Sea Fox is such a big gamer, right? 50% or 75%. How much salinity is your tail, Noi? Let's see, how salty have I been lately? Have I cried this week? I have not. I have been salty because we played Hollow Knight, that's for sure. Last 2 weeks. Ah, yes, there was also No, I'm Not a Human. So I would say probably at probably just like, how salty is the sea? Let me see. I don't want to say something and just be statistically off. Percentage. Oh, did you know that the salinity of seawater is only about 3.5% by weight? So, the average salinity is 3.5%, aka 35 grams per liter. So if I were to say percentage, let's say, because we played two particularly very salty games, maybe at about like a good 5%, like 2.5% per stressful gaming session. So at a 5% salinity. 67% of your regular streams are gaming. Seems like a gamer to me. Yeah, but you guys are not here for the gaming. Admit it. I know that most of you guys are not here for the gaming. But the only reasons I have gaming streams is because I like gaming, first of all. And second, I worry about running out of things to talk about. So it's nice to kind of have some games in between, you know. I truly salute and have respect for those sort of people who can just keep on having free talk and zatsus all the way. I don't know how someone can do that. Like, I do reckon, like, I would run out of topics, dude. For what then? For what? Oh, you mean the gaming? Yeah, I just mentioned it. Not to mention the brine pools underwater. Yes, there are underwater pools. Ah, yes, SpongeBob is right about underwater beaches. The auto-cleaned sea fox. What does that even mean? I'm here for Noira and the Deep Blue, be it for gaming or yaps. I just enjoy my time here, and that is the most that I can hope for. I truly do appreciate it. I appreciate that, guys. You guys are like the most wholesome bunch. You guys like being here at the Deep Blue, the conversations we have and everything like that. I appreciate it. And beautiful, sexy, kind, amazing, bubbly sea fox, mommy oneesan. See, mommy oneesan, I don't think those two words kind of belong together, Irina. There is a hotel made completely out of salt. Why? The fuck? Why would someone do that? Don't we live in such a fucking dystopian world, guys? Like, I was once again continuing my read on Sapiens, right? The book by Yuval Noah Harari. I'm at the part where they're talking about hunter-gatherers and nomads way back when. And if you think about it, And basically they were saying like ancient people, especially hunter-gatherer and nomads, were always healthier than all other humans who just decided to go towards the agriculture industrialization route. And they were also supposedly happier in a way because you don't really have time to think. Oh, you have less working hours. Did you know that? According to scientists, hunter-gatherers, they only work like 35 to 45 hours a week. I think, if my memory serves me right. Which is much less compared to like the people who are going through industrialization or like agriculture revolution and shit like that, or us at the office, right? And plus, they have a lot of time to kind of just go back home and hang with their family and the people around them. And they say that based on studies from current or recent hunter-gatherer societies and nomadic societies, they have more of a priority towards making good experiences and having good relationships and conversations with people, rather than, they don't really care about wealth. They don't really care. Achievement is a different thing, but they don't really care about wealth. They care more about being happy with each other and having a nice relationship and everything like that. That is of course not without trade-off, but I thought that was just an interesting thing. How different our lifestyle is compared to the other option, which is like something that we might have explored in our life cycle, in our lifespan as Homo sapiens, right? Being a hunter-gatherer or a nomad. How different life is nowadays. How dystopian life, modern life is, right guys? For talks or conversation, I think that with time, even a pretty model becomes irrelevant. Just voice, no offense. That's good. I think that is the biggest compliment of all. If like you guys can stay here without the model and just truly for the talks, I think that is truly the biggest compliment for me. I mean, after all, my vtuber avatar is just a gateway, right? The gateway drug. What matters at the end of the day is the experience and conversations we have. I came from the short, stayed from the yap and cute titlings. And glad you stayed then. Glad you stayed. Did you recover well from last night? No. My body is still fucking hurting. Being rich and achieving goals are very different in nature. Rich can allow you to achieve goals, but it's rarely the absolute safety net people imagine it to be. I'd rather achieve than be rich. I mean, I also think it's not one or the other. But yes, they are two different things. But some people, I think, especially in certain cultures, they kind of focus more towards, okay, to be rich is to have achievement. You know, they kind of like meld the two meanings together. To have achieved in life or be successful in life is to be rich, you know, and rich and famous or something like that. And I think nowadays, slowly, for some reason, our society is shifting towards that lifestyle that's not so much hustle culture. And a lot more people are realizing that, you know, life is not just about climbing the career ladder or getting X amount of money. I mean, sure, for survival purposes, you need X amount of money, right? But past that, life is not just all about that. But at least that's what I think when I look at social media and seeing more people observe these sort of things. But of course there are still some people out there, especially in certain cultures, where they're still very much more conventional about the idea of success and ambition and everything like that. They think that, oh, you're weak if you cannot climb the social ladder and get promoted. You're a weak person, when really in reality does it really fucking matter? Like, what? So what if I don't get promoted but I have like such ample time with my family and friends and I enjoy my current job scope? So what? It really is a matter of perspective, isn't it? I believe women's fascination with shopping is a holdover from when females were mainly gatherers. My aunt's Stone Age ancestor must have been a super gatherer. Bro, that actually makes sense. Holy fuck. Yeah, yeah. Maybe, you know, some women would usually go out foraging, right? The men would go out hunting. Maybe that's why women like window shopping, because we used to be foragers and we used to look for berries and everything like that. Nowadays, instead of shiny berries, we look at, ooh, shiny bag. That's hilarious. I love that. That makes sense. Mayhaps. I see myself as rich, but I don't have much money. But I have a few great friends and I'm actually happy. And that's really all that matters, right? But then again, to be fair, what matters in your life and what you value in your life really depends on the person. So as much as I can say that, oh yeah, that's what matters at the end of the day, you can't really say that for everyone. Some people just haven't gone through the right experiences or have seen the right ways of being able to just open themselves to these sort of ideas that the definition of success could be different for everyone, including yourself. And it's not always about money. Sure, acquiring money is definitely part of survival. Beyond that, money loses a lot of meaning unless you apply it correctly to what you want to achieve. Exactly. And that's what a lot of people kind of don't know. They think that money will solve all of their problems, but when they have the money, they actually realize that I don't know how I can use my money to solve these problems. You know what I mean? Not to mention sometimes in the pursuit of that supposed amount of money, you lose something along the way too. But then you kind of just toughen up and be like, yeah, nah, it's okay. I just gotta toughen up a bit more and suck it in until I get X amount of money. And then you realize when you get there, how the fuck do I fix what I have lost? So many people are like that. And that's like so many people also end up just spending on frivolous things, like very superficial things, thinking that it'll be the band-aid fix or be the supposed permanent fix to whatever the fuck they're feeling. But they realize that it's not really. Like, purchasing luxury things can only do so much. Most people just want to be loved, to feel love and stable income in that order. Yeah, I think humans, we're social animals, right? We just like having good conversations, having good laughs and good relationships. Biologically, that's what I think, yeah. I think that's what the essence of being human is. That's of course, but of course, I'm like not including like some people who might be outliers out there. I'm pretty sure there are outliers out there. But in the essence, I think that's what instinctually humans kind of want. Let me drink some water. I would say that money solves about 80% of life's problems. And the people who don't got their problems solved really don't have proper life priorities. I mean, but also life's problems can be different from one person to another, right? If your main problem is that you're lonely as fuck, can money solve it? To a certain extent, yes. But can it solve it effectively? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid, I guess. Money can solve like 80% of life problems. Yeah, probably. At least, kind of just skimming through it in my thoughts. Yeah, that's probably correct. Your thoughts on this very insane take. People who are depressed are wines. Ikazen, I told you to stop making those jokes. Come on. Another is a human to hoard things. Money needs to go somewhere. Having it just sit in one place is pretty bad. Yes, keep some in emergency, but you gotta use it to do something with the rest. Oh, do we want to start talking about finances and in investment again, guys? The issue with the Matrix is that it gave the big money to those who could make the least out of it. Money to those who would make the least out of it? I don't know. I can't say anything about that. Because that is a huge generalization that I don't know if I can confidently say something about. It's a family member? Oh, yes, of course. There are people like that, though, if you're talking about that. I understand. Of course, there's a lot of people who... What was it that you said? I kind of just skimmed through it. Depressed and whine. Yeah, to be fair, I do think... But this is what... Okay, look, I'm gonna sound old saying this, but I do think that whatever I see on social media nowadays, there is a lot of whining, okay? There's a lot of complaining. But also, I'm a realistic bitch. I understand that every older generation is always like that. They're always like, oh, suck it up. Stop whining so much. You know what I mean? But from my personal experience as well, I feel like the younger generations are going towards a different trend when it comes to work or hard, quote unquote, hard work. Now, this is something that I have talked about with a lot of my other colleagues and friends as well, where, for example, people are changing jobs more often. People are not popping up for interviews more often and taking interviews for granted a little bit more. And they come into interviews feeling more privileged. Is it necessarily a bad thing? I don't know, but it is an observation. Two different things. Like, observing and like whether it's a bad thing or not, or judging it, are two different things after all. But yes, I don't know. As much as I think that I see some people around me and be like, come on, man, just fucking do it. Just get good. Skill issue, you know? And it happens. I don't know what they've been through, you know? So I try not to judge as much as... Like, for example, okay, easiest example. I stream pretty consistently, right? And I think a lot of streamers and VTubers out there have quite some trouble to stream consistently. And some people have asked me before, like some VTubers and streamers have asked me before, how do you do it more consistently like that? Like, how do you become so consistent? And I'm like, you just do it, man, until it becomes easier. And we see that a lot of people have a lot of trouble with that. So sometimes I'm just like, why the fuck is it so hard for you to just do it and get used to it and just keep on doing it? And then they say like it's because of like ABC, a lot of different reasons, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I also go through some similar things, but I suck it up. But you know, that's what I'm saying. I could be saying all these kind of things, but you don't really know what that other person is going through. But at the same time, I also don't know where the balance... How do you even handle these sort of situations, mate? What do you even do? Like, if you have a better tolerance at doing some things better than other people, and they have skill issues doing it, at one point do you be like... At one point, is it like actually a problem and they're just not trying hard enough versus, oh, okay, they're probably going through some shit. That I don't know, so I usually just don't prod. If someone doesn't want to do something, I just don't bother. You know, if someone has problems with consistency despite me giving or doing certain things, despite me giving tips and everything like that, and they still have problems and they cry about it, I just don't bother. I mean, because I don't know where to draw the line, man. It's like when you tell someone to go to the gym, right? Let's say your friend has a bad lower back, right? And it's because they don't move much, they don't touch grass, they don't work out, they're not active. And you tell them, hey, no, you just gotta go on walks or something. Go to the gym every once in a while. And you tell them, yeah, you know, I used to have lower back problems and then I started like walking 15 minutes a day and it helped out. But then they don't do it and they still keep on complaining about it. Then what the fuck are you actually supposed to do then, right? Hold on, let me read chat. Oh yeah, no, if we're talking about depression, we're at least when I see the mention of depression, it is not like it is like you're missing some certain chemical reactions in your brain. Same thing when I talk about ADHD, okay? When I talk about these sort of things, I mean it in a scientific sort of way, like it's proven like, oh, your brain just doesn't work the same. Or certain things have happened in a way where your brain just doesn't work the same. And it's lacking certain chemical reactions in your brain or certain chemicals. So since we mentioned depression earlier, that's what I meant. And I think shaming that is bad because it's really just, you can't really blame someone for having certain things missing. You know what I mean? Biologically missing. And you can't really blame someone either who has just been spiraling so much that it's just so fucking hard to get out of. It is what it is, and it's tough. And I think the people who don't see that are dicks. But what I was talking about earlier was mostly about people, say, having a hard time doing certain things, and maybe other people who are of the later generations being like, fucking suck it up, dude. What the fuck? I didn't have a problem with it. Even I have trouble like navigating through that because I don't know at what point it's just, sure, I empathize, but also at what point is it just a little bit too much to empathize? Because sometimes if you empathize too much, right? You're not pushing them enough and helping them. This is also coming from a place where I have Zone Check 1, which is, we also manage talents. So there are there's some certain balancing acts that we have to do sometimes where we gotta push our talents. Even though they say they're going through some things, but they've done it for a prolonged time. Sometimes we have to find that balance to kind of push them and be like, hey, I know you're tired and everything like that, but do you want to maybe start small? You know? Yeah, that balancing act is tough. As a person who has lived in social services as a child, I value both trade skills and wealth building skills a lot. But I strongly believe everyone must learn to build wealth. That is true. That is true. And we shall talk about that in a little bit. I just send them to a psychologist. I don't have education for giving specific help tailored to their needs. That is also true. But I would like to think that the normal human is able to get things done. Where am I getting at with that statement? I don't know. What I'm saying is that a part of me is like, come on, dude, just get at it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Sometimes I'm self-conflicting like that. One part of me empathizes, but other part of me is like, should I really empathize? Like, what if I actually push them and then that helps them? But of course, it's a different thing if they're going through some shit. Yeah, that's a totally different thing. But you know, sometimes you need that little push to get the ball of motivation going, and navigating through that is the tough part. Misconceptions about depression? Yeah, nah, I know there is, and it's fair. It's fair game. Let me drink some wine. But yeah, I also think that more people are probably just... It seems like more people are Okay, so one of the reasons that I think a lot more people are also quote-unquote supposedly whining or having trouble doing things, I've mentioned this before, but I'm pretty sure that it's partly due to the trend of brain rotting or bed rotting or whatever you call it, or like doom scrolling. I really think that's a big part of it. Finding the right medication helped me so much, but there is a huge part of it that is neuron reinforcement. Once I learned to gamify my life, I feel like I found a cheat code. And it's also a lot about what do you call them? Cognitive therapy? No, cognitive behavioral therapy. Fuck, I forgot what it's called. But yeah, it is cognitive therapy. Behavioral therapy? Where I mentioned it in a few videos before, and I've mentioned it pretty often too, where everything is like a skill issue. So just because you're bad at something or you have trouble doing something, it's not because you're a horrible person, no. It's just because you haven't invested enough time in it to the point that you get used to doing it and then it gets easier. There's much less judgment that comes through that. There's much less judgment that comes via that versus say, oh, I'm a bad person and I'm such a lazy fuck, you know what I mean? Understanding that everything is a skill issue and your brain is basically a muscle that you gotta train, like a Tamagotchi or a Digimon, really changes the perspective of like why you have trouble doing things. Shit, I forgot the point that I was about to make. But yeah, I do think that part of us having harder problems, like say getting out of bed, sure there is of course like medical conditions and mental conditions sometimes, but I do think that to a certain extent doom scrolling and bed rotting, they're very serious issues. I know because I've gone through that shit, and whenever I doom scroll in my bed, it fucks me over so much, productivity wise, and just getting the smallest things done. Like suddenly everything gets harder for me to want to do. I get less motivated to do everything except for doom scrolling in bed. It fucks over my day whenever I doom scroll in bed. That's why I've kind of changed that by not having my phone next to my bed. Yui Park, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Have a good one, Red Samurai. Which do you think is going to get you further in life in terms of achievement? Being a jack of all trades or master of none? Master of none. Wait, isn't a jack of all trades a master of... Oh, master of one. I think jack of all trades. Yeah, because I think that if you learn the skills of if you know about a lot of things, it also gives you a lot of perspectives, and a lot of perspectives can definitely like help out with creativity and coming up with solutions that are out of the box, and that is very valuable. That's something that AI can't do, at least. Doom scrolling is something that I've been working on cutting down as of late. I ask myself, what can I do instead to keep myself busy? Yeah. Doom scrolling, at least for me, doom scrolling was a big part to why I was so shit at doing things and my productivity. It really fucked me over. If the sea fox forgot, then you shall get a free drink from her. Excuse me? Stop making made up quotes of me. About me. You do one in Project Zomboid with that mindset? What, the jack of all trades thing? Another thing about that I read in Sapiens today was that apparently the brains of hunter-gatherers back then, Homo sapiens back then who were nomadic, were actually larger than people nowadays. Because first of all, technology has kind of spoiled us in a way. Things are much easier via technology and simpler to do. And we don't have to be as knowledgeable about so many things compared to nomadic and hunter-gatherer peoples back then. Back then when you were a hunter-gatherer, you needed to learn so many things about survival and everything like that. Nowadays, you just mostly focus on being good at one thing, or like be good at fulfilling a particular role, such as being a mom, being a dad, or doing this specific job scope at work, or cooking, you know? You don't have to pick up as many skills and be good at as many skills compared to hunter-gatherers back then. And that's interesting too. It's not a necessarily good or bad thing, it's just an observation, I guess, that scientists made, or assumed. There's something interesting about stress. It's linear. The stress that when one makes a speech in front of a podium is no different from being chased by a wolf in the wild. The brain can't tell yet. And that's fair. I mean, usually species take thousands, millions of years to evolve, perhaps. I don't know how many fucking years. I don't remember. And would you really think that Homo sapiens, only having been around for a while, have evolved and adapted to whatever we have right now? I think it's unrealistic to think so, considering the trends of other species, you know, how long it takes for them to evolve and everything like that. doesn't make sense for Homo sapiens to have evolved towards the modern lifestyle that just sped through Earth's life in years. Yeah. So it definitely makes sense, I think, to me, that the human brain is still operating in very archaic / primitive mode. It's just we got the same brain and the same instincts, but put in a modern setting. You know, we got isekai. We got isekai and we just got to deal with it. So definitely there are some things that I think the human brain just isn't too good about yet, and there are a lot of primal instincts that we just got to navigate through in this modern lifestyle. We're no longer cavemen eating mud when technology came. Oh yeah, defos. Got you one. Dora Senpai! Dora Senpai is the guy who's coming over and bringing me one. Can you also bring me whiskey when you go through the airport? I wanted to text you. Can you bring whiskey as well? you can pick. You can bring me can you bring maybe Hibiki Yamazaki or Yamazaki or Santori Ao? I'll pay you, okay? Get me whiskey through duty free. Thank you for getting me my Chianti. I forgot to text him, bro. He's coming soon. In 2 weeks, I believe. Jay Manning, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. If you could choose, what anime would you choose to get isekai to? I don't want to get isekai. What anime? Shit, I don't know. Usually certain anime worlds are just bad for plot purposes. They're not like ideal to live in because plot purposes. And narrative purposes. Maybe that time I got reincarnated into slime, but I gotta be near Rimuru. Because there's magic and shit, you know. It means that, oh, there's a lot of conveniences in modern life. Like you can have an onsen, you can have a toilet, these sort of things. I would like such conveniences, thank you very much. Yeah, maybe Tensura. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. Talking about stress, there was also like an interesting video that I came across, but I didn't really actually watch it. But like I came across it and I thought it was like an interesting thing. One of the ways you can regain energy in your day-to-day is by closing your open loops or like your open tasks. Okay, I know which whiskey to get you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget to save the bill so I can pay you back, okay? So think about it. If you have like a lot of open loops at the back of your mind, such as, no, you do not get to keep the wine. The whiskey and wine is both for me. What the hell? What the fuck, dude? Don't sabotage my drinks. It's your payment for rent. So for example, there's like certain things that you've been meaning to do for a while, but you just have been procrastinating it, or just kind of been like, oh yeah, it's not a priority, I'll do it later. I think what we don't realize is that it actually takes some brain power keeping those thoughts in mind. So they kind of slowly just ever so slightly drain away some brain power in your day-to-day. So when you close these open loops of yours, these tabs, yes, Dante, these open tabs, if you close them, you'll have better RAM. Ha! You're a fucking Google Chrome. Yes. So if you learn to close these open tabs on your browser, you will be able to gain energy and better RAM to go through your day-to-day. And I think that's true. When I saw that video's title, I'm like, huh, I think that's very true. Because there is science behind it. How there's a true mental fatigue within keeping tasks at the back of your mind and multitasking as well. It does result in mental fatigue. So yes, guys, if you have like certain things that you've always kept at the back of your mind, be sure to kind of just close them and understand that closing them can provide you with more energy to work with. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll drink some water. Abandoned One, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Can't I just upgrade to DDR5? Not if you're on Windows 11 and Google Chrome, dude. Takes out a lot of memory. CPU usage going crazy. But yeah, that is the wisdom of the day, guys. If you have some open tabs in your brain, be sure to close them and understand that by closing each one of them, you're freeing up a little bit of RAM and energy for your day-to-day. So if you're feeling shit and a little bit lethargic and can't be fucked doing a lot of things, most likely the culprit is something like doom scrolling. The other one maybe is just you have too many tabs open in your brain. How else would I think of everything all of the time till I burn out, right? Talking about burnout has been such a crazy... I noticed that there's like such a crazy rise in discussions about burnout. And I don't know. I'm glad that burnout is not really something I experience anymore. I feel like I have a really nice balance in life right now. Beyond Wolf, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. But TLDR, as Mark Manson says, the writer behind How to Not Give a Fuck, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, he says that burnout is you spending time on the things that matter. And you're not spending enough time on the things that actually matter. That is the TLDR of what burnout is, right? But also the thing is that a lot of people don't really discuss as much, is that a lot of people don't know what matters to them. A lot of people don't know what are things that can bring them happiness because they haven't had the experiences or the time or the perspective to kind of explore that, or maybe the physical location or proximity to find out what they like. You know what I mean? For example, if you happen to be born as a fucking volley player, but you were born in like the Antarctic, right? In the North Pole where they don't play volleyball, how the fuck are you supposed to find out that you live for volleyball, dude? That volleyball is life. So I think the first step to kind of dealing with burnout is, of course, like figuring out what is it that can make you tick, what it is that you can value. You're scared of the ocean? It's okay. Thankfully, only my ears and my tail are of the ocean. Everything else is very much still a humanoid. Here's Noira talking how to de-stress. Well, I want to feel stressed and alive again. I feel like a koala. Oh, I've been there before too, Arena. I've wanted to feel more competitive at one point. Usually that feeling of numbness is because I doom scroll too much. Seriously, that's how it was for me, at least. Once I started like going out and started doing new things again and revisiting old hobbies, things change a little bit more, and finding out that, oh, I want to get better at X thing, or I want to be better and master. That feeling of mastery really sparks something within you, or at least within me. And when I found out that I wanted to master a certain skill a little bit more, you kind of feel that nice stress and tug towards competitiveness. Is that numbness what I'm feeling? I don't know, but like if I remember I even made a video out of it where I was like, I miss the feeling of competitiveness and wanting to wake up and feel and knowing what I want to do for the day. For example, back then when I used to play, I used to do basketball for the school, and we competitively compete against other schools and everything like that, right? I knew that when I wake up, I wanted to train for basketball and I wanted to do better than yesterday. That feeling of competitiveness, that feeling of striving to be better, and that feeling of striving for mastery made me feel alive. But it's also, to a certain extent, I think, unrealistic for you to keep that up 24/7 throughout your whole life. But definitely I had that sort of feeling. Yeah. I also have a video on that, Arena. Finding out your reason to try. But anyway, yeah, I understand what you mean. That video was the one about Ikigai, the Japanese philosophy about, what was it? Reason to live or something like that? So maybe you can check that out. But yeah, definitely once I started out, for me, what happened was that when I started trying out new things, revisiting old hobbies, and wanting to seek mastery towards certain things again, um, it lit a spark within me. Blood Wolf, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And even like, you know how, look, we don't grow the fastest at the Deep Blue, right? So focusing on performance numbers can be quite tiring here, for me at least, because it's not like we can expect like viral growth or anything like that. Not with the things that we're doing, at least here at the Deep Blue, I feel like, since we're more chill and cozy here. But reframing that thought in a sense where rather than it's about the numbers and the viewers that I have and reaching partnership and shit like that, rather it's, I think I would like to measure my supposed achievement or success in VTubing and content creation with the number of great discussions and conversations I have. Ever since I've reframed my thought to that, content creation and VTubing has been great. Because back then I remember I came upon that phase momentarily where I was like pretty like whatever about content creation, you know. It wasn't burnout or anything, but like I just didn't think much about it. And I felt like I had no reason to think much about it because I felt like I wasn't really pursuing anything, because the growth in numbers and everything like that just felt like an idea that's so far away. But then once I reframed it and was more towards the good conversations and the good moments and everything we have, it felt better. Made me feel better when I wake up and I wanted to do something about content creation. It made me feel better. Mr. Never, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Here's a good advice I heard. Those born in January are more likely to have better grade than those who were born in October. So if you're 23 years old and born in October, reduce your age by 1. I am better grade. Ah, that is also true. That is also true. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. Is numbness even feeling something because you technically don't feel anything? That feeling of numbness for me was like seeking some fucking spark of dopamine or like some fucking rush that I just did not feel. Not because I couldn't, but I think for me, to explain it in more technical terms, I guess if you want to put it that way, my dopamine threshold was just really high because of stuff like doom scrolling, right? This is neuropsychology, by the way. So when you wake up, usually that's when your dopamine levels are the highest. And then the thing is, like, you get more dopamine from things that require more effort, right? From things that are a little bit more deliberate. The thing is, like, when you doom scroll, you get dopamine, but they're empty dopamine, like, and empty calories, like fast food. They're momentarily nice, they feel momentarily nice, and they satiate you, but they're empty and they just don't do anything for you. So your dopamine levels would kind of slowly just crash and get to like negative levels, to the point that it's hard to lift your dopamine levels again when you actually want to do other things. And that was what was making me feel numb. Where in the morning I would doom scroll and all my dopamine would just get fucked over by doom scrolling in the morning. And when I tried to seek dopamine via other things, such as doing things within the day, like doing dishes or doing work and everything, nothing worked because my dopamine already crashed in the morning. That was how it was for me. Now, I don't know if it's like one-to-one to your situation, but that's how it was for me. I miss igniting the fire in my heart again. College and academics does it for me. Maybe you can also try other new things, Arena. But also, I'm not a therapist, so please take whatever the fuck I say with a grain of salt, of course. And I don't know the full situation of whatever you're currently in. But yeah, take it, try out new things. Meet new people. Do new things, basically. And then maybe you'll find better ways, new ways, to spark that within yourself. Sly, thank you for the 5 gifted on YouTube side. Thank you for bringing in 5 new titlings into the Deep Blue. 5 new one of us's. 5 of us. 5 of us tidlings. Hold on. When I was 7, I shined shoes at the local fair to try and get a skate park at 15. My mom tried for years to make it happen. At 25, the money I put in bank account got used to start a charity that we finally got the skate park after a lottery grant. I can't skate because bad knees, but every time I see kids skating, I feel so amazing. That is kind of wholesome. Holy shit. I'm so glad that you can finally get your skate park, but I also hope that despite bad knees, you find other ways to enjoy a skating-like experience. Like, I don't know, how about bobsledding, or like, I don't know, sledding but not while standing up, whatever you call them. Or, I don't know, sandboarding, those sort of things. Are they options for bad knees? Working out also helps. Yes, working out also scientifically helps with building up serotonin and dopamine. And going out for a walk. That is true. Getting back into model building helps with me, and that's great to hear. Most factual and mature I have talked in a while. Thank you so much. Oh my god. But please, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. It scares me, you know? I'm worried that sometimes the things that I say on stream or on my videos can get misconstrued, and then someone goes to the therapist all fucked up and be like, yeah, but the sea fox on oneesan told me so. That is my number one bigger fear. And I feel like I would probably, yeah, what if I get cancelled from it? You know what I mean? So I always try to put out disclaimers. I always try to be like, you know, this is what I personally think, but these are mostly based on my personal experiences. I am not a therapist or anything like that. I just like talking about life, and I've gone through my own life, and I'm talking based on that, not like anything particularly, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I do say when some things are scientifically backed, or like, you know, there's academic research behind it and everything like that though, of course. But you can, I would like to think that you guys can tell whenever something is actually something researched versus something that I'm saying out of my personal opinion. I just listen and reconsider. Yeah. Thank you. It's good exercise to be critically thinking, you know? We're going to take everything to heart. You guys are going to get me fucking cancelled. And if you guys end up taking everything I say into heart, then it'll turn into a fucking cult, dude. Everything Noira says is truth. How dare anyone doubt her wisdom? I'll praise the sea fox truth. No. That's not how it works. No. What is your accent? Even I do not know what my accent is, Blood Wolf. But I do think that it is at least some mix of Australian in there somewhere. It's a mix of a lot of things. It's a weird accent that I've just, I think, accidentally made. I don't know. It's the accent of the deep blue. Man, I am drinking a lot of wine today. Truly. I deliberately poured more because I'm finishing my bottle of wine. There was a little bit of extra and I just finished the whole thing. Love you, Nissan. If I take it too hard, it's good advice anyways. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. When you say deep blue, my mind goes to the Great Barrier Reef. Ah, close enough. Yeah. Cairns, Australia. Great Barrier Reef. Praise the sea fox. She's so wise. Praise the sea fox. Are you trying to become Gary's cheerleader? Gary, he's the best. He can do it. No one can. Are you guys gonna start a little cheer for me? Hi there, Star Platinum. Her accent is deep blue lander. Sure. Yes, we are not a cult. Obviously, we are not a cult. Her accent is most likely a variant of some Atlantean dialect. Sure. You guys can keep making more rumors and myths about me, and then maybe that'll what one day will spur me towards popularity. Pay for my therapy session with Noira. I don't do therapy sessions. No. I don't like being given the responsibilities of such things. It's things that I do not want to be responsible over. Nah. But what I do like is watching about curious things, you know, and staying curious and reading up about things. And that's why I do that and still do that, and I share that with you guys. And I appreciate that. I appreciate it that you guys listen to whatever the fuck I say. Pyramid Smith's law for the drunk scribe. Indeed, the drunk scribe is well fed always, right? Always with so much to write about. What's your newest one going to be written? Oh, what new writings are you gonna have for your new one, dear drunk scribe? How did it even begin? I mean, it has a calming and therapeutic effect. What do you mean? Well, do you mean the accent? I'm pretty sure my accent kind of began when first of all, I was already kind of speaking in a sort of Australian accent, but not fully. As my Australian friends used to describe it, my accent was kind of American. But my non-Australian friends would say that my accent is Australian, so I would assume that my accent sounded just a little bit like American and Australian. And then at one point I was like, I don't like how my certain consonants sound. So I watched Game of Thrones and I decided to adopt certain ways of pronouncing consonants that are particularly British, I think. You'll notice that I enunciate my T's a lot more than Australians, I think, or like Australian in an Australian accent. That's mostly my personal preference. I think it's mostly that. Streams? How it began? I've streamed for a very long time, but back then I used to IRL stream like games and everything like that. But the sort of vibe for streaming, it's only within the past 2 years. I think it was like not even 2 years, probably like mid 2024, I think. Because I feel like I've always wanted these sort of vibes and these sort of conversations on stream, but like wanting something and thinking of something versus like figuring out how to turn that into reality are two totally different things, right? And figuring out how to communicate it is also a different thing. So I've only managed to kind of coordinate towards it and kind of implement it, I think, mid 2024. Yeah. What was the catalyst? Not much, really. I think it's something that I've always done. I think it's like talk about life in general on streams. And then I noticed that, or maybe the catalyst was that when I started publishing certain clips about live talks like this, they would garner more views than my gaming stuff. So I kind of pivoted towards that. And I found that, oh yeah, this is definitely the direction I want. And I love this shit. And I just kind of honed in into that sort of idea and direction. Australian multicolour into American. Sound Aussie for the Brit, but well, easy to understand, so American. Yeah. I don't know, my accent is weird. Someone even used to say that I sound a little bit Scottish or something, which is weird. Like, how the fuck do I sound Scottish? Oh, Irish was it? No, it was Irish, not Scottish, yeah. Someone said I started Irish. I did go back to some of your older streams. It's amazing both how much and how little you've changed over the years. How do you think I've changed, Ninja, over the years? But like, even when I used to stream like 7 or 8 years ago, when I used to IRL stream, these were like the preem vibes that I wanted. But I feel like I didn't have the right crowd, which is also fair because I never really figured out how to curate these sort of vibes to attract the right crowd. I'm only able to do that nowadays and I'm very happy. That's why I always say that I really like whatever we have right now. I'm already in time left and my head jelly is stuttering. Thank you. If you plan on trying out time left, do tell us how it goes. The new Drunk Ramblings is already up, and it covers the sadness in the town to city, interviews where I obtain the experience I give, and why we really can't trick a tale. Damn, our drunk scribe works fast. If you guys don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So, Ayo, I Like Cheese here is our drunk scribe by happenstance or whatever. I don't remember why we decided to knight him as a drunk scribe, or I decided to knight him as a drunk scribe. I think one day he just volunteered. Oh no, I was like talking about the Bible and how the Bible was written by supposedly drunk monks or something like that. Or at least that was the myth. And Cheese was like, oh, I want to be the drunk monk / drunk scribe. And thus he became the drunk scribe. And since then, he has written tales about the Deep Blue and chronicles of the Deep Blue every once in a while. And he does so on Reddit. So if you guys have not joined Reddit just yet, go over to r/Noira on Reddit to find out all of the drunk scribe's ramblings. Have a good one, Peter. Thanks for dropping by. I got a really good business idea that popped up and I have a person to call about a startup. Hey! Good luck with that. Don't you just love it when that happens, where you have a eureka moment and you get all excited about it? Oh my god, I'm getting sniffles. Hold on. Let me BRB. Hold up. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. No flash to distract the eyes, attention drawn to the voice and yaps, the beauty of the soul and mind flourished. That's very poetic. One major way is how you carry yourself when speaking. Early stream feels like you're still trying to figure out your footing, how you should speak or talk. You're much more confident today versus back then. Ah, yes. I think honestly, that's just an age thing. What's funny is that I used to think that a few years back was my prime, right? I digress. I think my prime is right now, however old I am, but definitely older than you. I feel like now that I'm older and I'm more settled into who I am, who I'm not, and more confident in what I like and what I don't like, and more don't give a fuck about a lot of things and what other people think. I think that's probably why it seems or sounds like I'm more confident, even in the way that I speak. I notice that when I speak with someone nowadays, over like casual conversation, I overthink much less. It's just the truth of it's not awkward unless you make it awkward is just a real thing nowadays. And I don't know, I feel like I'm just very much more chill with who I am. I would love to see Noira react to her differences in +0 to +10 armor. No. My voice was so young in that shit for some reason. Talking about gathering the right audience, I have arrived. Dear Halra, are you the right audience? Are you? Have a good one, Rooms 32. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, I feel like it's a mistake to judge when your prime is. It's only relevant in hindsight, and even then, lamenting better days prevents you from striving for better in the here and now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it's just interesting that the older I get, the more that I think that, okay, I'm currently in my prime. It's like, you're a Digimon and you're like, okay, nah, this is only my first Digivolution. And you're like, yeah, nah, this is my ultimate Digivolution. But then you just keep on going. It's very interesting. But I don't know. I'm just very happy at the point that I am as a person nowadays. And I think with how I am as a VTuber as well as a content creator, it's also to the point that I think other people have noticed as well. Like especially family, friends, and like cousins that I haven't met in a long time. They're like, oh Noira, you're very different nowadays. You're very feminine. And I'm like, feminine? What do you mean feminine? And she would like tell to other people, you know, Noira used to be like such a big tomboy. She used to be so boyish back then. She used to game a lot and be so sporty and everything like that. Now she's so feminine. And I'm like, I'm actually all that, and I'm, you know, I'm still all that. I really haven't changed. It's just that I have I do have certain preferences in how I dress depending on my mood. So I can dress both feminine and tomboyish depending on whatever. So they've also noticed that this is comments from them. It's like they treat me more as an adult now, and they respect how mature I am. And these are people who are like 10, 20 years older than I am. So it's a very interesting transition. I have a random question only divinity like you can answer. Okay, I appreciate that. Goddess Noira, why did the gods create Komodo dragons? To fulfill our fantasies and keep our curiosity towards the possibilities that dragons were actually real back then. But then again, you also never know, right? So that humans may forever just dwell in the misery of never knowing. That is why Komodo dragons exist. To taunt you and to provide that slightly annoying feeling of, oh my god, were dragons actually real? Thank you for the hydrate. That's kind of fucked. Well, don't you think that gods would kind of have fun in poking some misery in humanity? I remember going to my local zoo for a special viewing of Komodo dragons. Lots of little kids were there. What no one was told was that it was feeding time and they brought out an actual rabbit. Oh my god, were the kids okay? Komodo dragons will evolve into real dragons. They just need a few more years. Or maybe they just need a moonstone or like a fucking firestone. Have you ever tried feeding them elemental stones? It's like how you would feed me a water stone and shit happens, right? Maybe you need to feed the Komodo dragon a firestone and it'll turn into a fucking Charizard. You never know till you try. I'm satisfied with your answer. Of course you would be satisfied with my answer. Yes, Komodos are very messy eaters indeed. Very gory. They break things down with their saliva. It's quite crazy. I took a trip to the lands of the Komodo dragons, by the way, which is I went to there's this area in Indonesia called Labuan Bajo, and it's nearby the Komodo Islands. So I did go to the Komodo Reserve Park. It was fucking scary, dude. The Komodo dragons were large and they were out in the open. And one of my friends, right, I would not dare, but one of my friends would actually, what he actually did was that he saw a sleeping Komodo dragon, right, just lying on the floor, eyes closed, the legs kind of like a floppy corgi, if you know what I'm talking about. Like a floppy corgi puppy. He was like, hey, take a picture of me, guys. And he just like walked up to it and kind of just crouched and thumbs up, like nearby its butt, and hoping it doesn't just do a full 360 and chomp at him. And we took a picture of it, and I'm like, do you not value your life? Holy shit. But yeah, the Komodo dragons were crazy big. I would never. But we also had the rangers who would kind of help us navigate the park and make sure no Komodo dragons kind of threaten us. Man, that shit was like crazy, because you see things on TV, right? And via various media. You see beautiful scenery, beautiful animals. It's like the same. Komodo dragons are just totally different in real life. Just like how I thought, oh yeah, mountains, pretty, haha, VR chat mountains, damn. Or like you see National Geographic, oh look at New Zealand, damn that's pretty. But then you are really never prepared to see the full thing in real life for the first time. I remember when I was like confronted by giant, ancient, massive, untouched, prehistoric mountains when I went to New Zealand's Fiordland, when I think that area was called Milford Sound. They have like literally prehistoric mountains. It was a crazy sight. It's something you really can't capture in picture or in any digital form, I feel like. It's something that you just have to see for yourself. It's unlike anything. And I tried Instagram storying it. You just can't capture the full majesty of it. It's those kind of feelings and experiences that make you feel alive, hey? That's why traveling is fun. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you've been trying to assert your dominance over me, Noira. What do you mean I've been trying to assert my dominance, bro? The two types of fantasy worlds. The world used to be full of magic, wonder, and dragons. Fucking dragons everywhere. Yes. I remember watching Nat Geo back then, watching a Komodo dragon hunt a buffalo. It was awesome though. Yeah, it's interesting, right? How they actually run so fucking fast. And they look fucking intimidating. Like lions and tigers and bears have nothing against them. It's like seeing an airplane IRL versus how it looks like in pics. Yeah, it's very different. I have never seen the Northern Lights. I hope that one day I do get to see the Northern Lights. Traveling is not allowed in basketball. No, it's not. It is not. By the way, guys. Should I tell you guys this now? Maybe not. But I'm preparing something for you guys next year. I'm preparing something for the Deep Blue next year. So look forward to it. I don't know how long it'll take. Maybe like first quarter, second quarter of next year. We'll see. But I'm very excited about it. I'm also like hoping that the Deep Blue grows to a point where we can have a Pal World server or an active Minecraft server. That is one of the objectives I want. To have an active Pal World or Minecraft server. You're fully interested? Well, unfortunately that's all you get because it's still very far away. I think there's no point in me teasing you guys now, right? Rather, you guys should be excited for the 5th of November, you know? I'm getting a haircut, so different model look for the 5th of November. Aren't you guys excited towards that? Did you guys want to see my new haircut for my birthday? And also The Sims, yeah. We're gonna chuck all the tidelings in the basement and take away the entry points and exit points. That's gonna be fun. Battle Royale. Servers are rather expensive, I know. Pal World servers, I think if it's like up to 5 or 6 people, it's not too expensive. It's like $12 a month. If it's more people, then it does get a little bit more expensive. Haircut on the model. So we'll see. You guys can guess how the model will look like. But I'm very excited to share it with you guys. And I also can't wait to play Town to City with you guys again. Yes, the model. Can you imagine me with any other hair? No, I am one of those VTubers who I don't think would want to have like a bald model for shits and giggles. I like looking aesthetic as fuck, okay? Dibs on perishing first in the most comically unavoidable manner possible in the Sims 4 basement battle. We'll see how it goes. Have a good one, Cecil's Researcher. Hope you enjoyed your time here. Will the new model have the same vibes as this one? Of course. I think one thing I try to do when I do get a new artist for my model is that I always try to get artists to actually know what the Deep Blue is like. Like they visited the Deep Blue, they visit every once in a while, and they know what the vibes are like, and they have like a good perception of what I'm like. Like for example, an artist I was talking to was like, yeah, I've always thought of Noira as like an alcoholic 30-year-old like lady. 30-plus-year-old lady. And I'm like, oh, okay. Sure, let's go with that. That's not the alcoholic lady a little bit past her prime. That's kind of, yeah, I guess kind of. So I wouldn't say, I wouldn't wrong him in assuming that. Yeah. But yeah, I always go with artists who kind of are familiar with the vibes that we have at the Deep Blue, so that I don't have to go through the, I don't have to explain it to them, you know? No, I'm not gonna do bald. I'm not gonna do, if you expect me to do those meme models and everything like that, I don't think you can expect that out of me. I mean, you said, of course, you'd be satisfied with my answer. And yes, I'm very clever. Sure, I give off okay vibes and you're a go-getter. You talk to me like a semi. Wait, that's cute. What the fuck? Just casually using yaoi terms like that? Wait, is uke and semi actually exclusively yaoi terms or not? Because I think I've only used uke and semi in yaoi terms. Or does it actually mean top and bottom? Sure. I don't know, because I've only ever used uke and seme in yaoi. But that's cute. That is so cute. That's very cute. And I do not mean the bottoms, the face structure vibes. Yeah. Of course, they do. So I think if I ever get a new model or whatever new models I get in the future, you guys can expect that they've been here at the Deep Blue before. They're at least to a certain extent regulars of the Deep Blue. So yeah, that's what I try to look for. Noira secretly an okay? Ah, but what if I am both? I would be all too powerful, wouldn't I? What if I am all things? Fire or deep. But yeah, I'm very happy with my current state of content creation here at the Deep Blue. Good vibes and good conversations, right guys? Marry me in that case? Now, don't be selfish. We gotta share, right? For the collective goodness of all the titlings. Uke is a bottom, seme is a top. In yaoi terms at least, I think. Uke and seme are also used in different contexts. Like, oh, I did not know that in martial arts. Holy shit! Yeah, I didn't know that. Ah, interesting. Well, you know, whatever I am, uke, seme, or anything in between, you guys will never get a straight answer out of me, because isn't it better to keep it mystery so that the imagination can run wild? That is better. So yeah, that's how it is. That's why I also, you know, you don't have to know my age. You just have to know that I'm always older than you guys, for example. And you guys don't have to know about the ancient knowledge that I may or may not know, right? Because it's better that way and it keeps you guys on your toes. Like maybe that time I supposedly flooded the earth and kind of just for shits and giggles kind of flicked a giant ship that had a bunch of animals in it. You guys will never have to know. Wrestling positions, yeah. Top or bottom, that's I think the TLDR of Uke and Seme. Speaking of yaoi, what was your first yaoi? I have no idea what my first yaoi was. I never really got into yaoi, but I don't mind, like, I'm okay with it, and I see the appeal of yaoi. Yuri, though, is quite interesting. But yaoi is like, the appeal of yaoi to me is mostly like, I like good-looking 2D men, so what's better than one good-looking 2D man? Two good-looking 2D men. That is the appeal of yaoi to me. It is not as fun when only one side gets drunk. Should we escort you home later? No, I'm not drunk though. I'm totally fine. You did what now? What was I talking about, Kevin? Oh, right. Just giving the earth a little bit of water, but maybe a tad bit too much, right? And that's totally not my fault. But hey, nobody knows anyway, right? What got you into Yuri then? I mean, sometimes you're just in the mood for Yuri. I mean, okay. If there are any doujins that I remember, there are, or smut, or hentai manga, or whatever, it would be I remember two specifically, I think. I think there was one manga that I particularly subscribed to. I liked reading updates on it because it had an interesting premise. It's called World Harem, I think, where basically all the men in the world have kind of just died from disease and only women are left, and all the women are like seeking to kind of get fertilized by these men, these last remaining men. I think that was World's End Harem. That's what it was called. I think that was a very interesting premise. It's kind of like Handmaiden's Tale, but smut, right? The other one is like, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a collection of one-shots where I mentioned this a lot on stream, by the way, but it's like this florist who was into shibari. The guy florist was into shibari, and like the girl found such beauty and in that, and novelty in that, and that was very beautiful art. It was mostly for the art aspect of it. Shadow Seraph, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. No, I have not Sloth Super. What is that? What about? Oh, I like Horimiya. My dress-up darling is... Horimiya is nice and wholesome. My dress-up darling, for some reason, feels to me like a bit much. Which is, I feel like a lot of people would give me flack for it, but... It feels like... You know, sometimes when you watch anime and you're like, oh, come on. Yeah, and that... My dress-up darling brings that out of me. Horimiya, not so much. Horimiya feels like natural and wholesome. Dress Up Darling gets that reaction out of me. I was like, come on, that can't be real. I do think that the scenarios are very well written and beautiful art though. But yeah, it's just that feeling that it's because of that feeling particularly that I don't really watch it. Uke means to receive, accept, or catch, and seme means to attack, force. Ah, I see! I see. You're right, I will give you flack for that. Yeah, I know. But like, it's a relative sort of thing, right? It's like some things that I read way back when, or like watched way back when, did not feel cringy. But nowadays, if I rewatch it, it brings out a cringe in me because you just kind of grow up and you know what the realistic experience of that is, and then for some reason it just makes you cringe. It's that sort of thing. I think that if I watched My Dress Up Darling when I was younger, I would receive it very differently. Amazing way in your motto is because mouth moves so precisely to what you say. Yeah, the rig is amazing. All thanks to Kale. What about the dangers in my heart? Nope, I don't know what that is. It is at times a bit too cheesy. There are actually a lot of animes that make me go, come on, what the fuck? You know, usually it's the animes that have a little bit too much, when either the protagonist is a little bit too miserable for my liking, and they just stay miserable for a little bit too long, like Tokyo Revengers, or it's just too much fan service, I think. Or something is just so unrealistic. It's those sort of things. But like, I don't judge it. Like, it doesn't mean that the anime is bad. It's just that it's not my preference. So there is a stark difference. I understand why the anime can be good, but it's just not my thing. When you say you'll never let us know if you're an uke or seme, it'll make you sound like a tsundere. Sure, whatever. Sure. Doesn't matter. I like keeping the mystery. You hate Tokyo Revengers? I used to love Tokyo Revengers because the character designs are peak. And I love like shows or animes that are just pure on hand-to-hand combat and violence. That's my favorite thing, by the way. That's why I love Kengan Asura. But after a while, it just got a little bit too much. Tokyo Revengers was like, fucking Takemichi, bro. Fucking hell. Does he not get tired of crying? But yeah, that. I just got tired. Windbreaker was pretty good. Windbreaker was nice. Windbreaker is more straight to the point, but I've mentioned this before, but like in the second season, they really prolonged the fluff in Windbreaker and I got pretty annoyed, so I dropped it. I was like that when I was young. When I got more ancient, I just accepted those teasing moments as sweet nothings or hooks for wholesome characters. Yeah. But then again, I am also someone with a relatively low cringe tolerance, so yeah. You know, most animes that I watch are mostly like the current favorite anime that I watch is Gachiakuta. And also there's the third season, sorry, of One Punch Man. Have you guys watched it? There's only the first episode, which was quite disappointing. The first episode was just monologues after monologues. But I heard that the second episode is great. It's not like I gave you live talks on the rocks because I like you or anything. Shut up! Shut up! Wow, you're making me that kind of tsundere? Damn. If I were in a dating game, what trope would I be, guys? Would I be the maternal kind of oneesan sort of vibe, or what would I be? You know how we have these sort of tropes in dating games? I really hope that one day I get to kind of be part of a dating game or make a dating game or dating sim. I think it'd be really fun. Imagine a deep blue dating sim. That'd be so fun, wouldn't it? If you have an interest in romance, I recommend Anju the Mischievous Girl. Now that is one of the best take on young romance in my opinion. Horimiya was pretty good. But like, where can you watch Anju? Is it on Netflix or something? I'm surprised there wasn't as much fanfare for Gachiakuta because I reckon it was pretty good. Right? What the fuck? I'm surprised that there's not much fanfare about Gachiakuta in general. Like, back then, before the anime was out, Gachiakuta was pretty much unheard of, which is crazy considering their fucking style. And the story is not even bad, but the style itself should garner interest. I was like, oh my god, Gachiakuta's art style is like the best I've seen in a while. Maternal sporty one. Oh, interesting that you guys actually think I'm kind of sporty. I remember back then with my 1.0 model, people would say, I remember like at one point I said that I'm quite a tomboy, right? In a sense that I'm pretty guyish in the way that I carry myself and sometimes in how I dress, depending on the mood. And most of my friends are guys. So, sometimes I have to hold back saying in the way that I talk to women sometimes. But it's not that I don't have like female friends, no. But like when I'm meeting like someone who's a new female stranger, I do have to hold back a certain things and act a certain way. I feel more natural hanging out with my guy friends. It's not that I'm trying to be an it girl or anything, or like a pick me or anything or like that, right? It's just how it's always been since back then. I've always mostly hung out with guys. Probably because I have a brother, right? And my interest in general, like sports and gaming, it's mostly guyish stuff. I was talking about that in chat, I think, with my 1.0 model. And someone was like, what, that can't be real because you're actually the most feminine VTuber I've seen. In your mannerisms and the way that you move your model and everything like that. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. That's actually crazy and wild. It's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. My body language? I don't know. I've just never really given it much thought. Right? So it's very interesting to kind of have some people observe that with how my model moves. In a dating game, you'd be like the final boss, unlocked after dating all characters, and you'd have the highest clear requirement. Oh, what would the requirements have to be? Like, you have to outdrink me? Would that be a requirement? I mean, it being unheard of isn't surprising, because I think that's the case with a lot of series. They're basically unknown outside of Japan unless it gets an anime. Yeah, that's fair. Gachiakuta is fantastic style indeed. Thoughts on nasi goreng? Nasi goreng is great. Nasi goreng is like the go-to dish when you don't know what to fucking order. But yeah, isn't it interesting how much you can see of a person just from the way that their model moves? And then when you see how they move in 3D, it's a totally different thing as well. That's why I think I'm really looking forward to one day getting a 3D model. That'll be fun. And I think it'll be quite interesting for you guys to see how I actually move in real life in 3D, because it will definitely be different, right? One day, guys, hopefully. Come over to Sweden? That's a crazy proposition. But yeah, I've mentioned this before, but like all the funds I have for VTubing that I've gotten from VTubing, all of them have literally gone back to VTubing, right? Being a VTuber is so expensive, especially if you're looking to consistently kind of just have certain projects such as get a new model or like get a 3D model. It's so fucking expensive, dude. Man, I swear, I think being a VTuber is one of the riskier things you could ever do. Like if you're thinking of one day getting returns or profits from it, being a VTuber is not it, bro. Going 3 years into VTubing, right? Being November the 5th, being my 3rd year, I have literally not made any profits. Well, I have profits, but I've maintained them as like equity, quote unquote, so that I can use them for like my next project needs. So I've just been it's just been going back into its own cycle. I haven't like used any of the VTubing profits for like personal use. Out drinking is easy, stay active and pursuing will be the key. Ah, is that what you think my requirements will be when in a dating game? How do you still manage to stay awake at this hour, Noira? What, it's only like 11:39 p.m. It's not too bad. I think I'm used to it because, you know, I do it so often, right? For you guys, for the Deep Blue, so thus I am awake. Have a good one, Cross9S. Hiring someone and making a 2D avatar is around 1,500 USD, a lot of money. Oh, no, it's definitely much more than that. If you're looking for a starting budget, yeah, VTuber plus rigging, maybe it's like 1,500 or like 1,000, right? But if you're going like mid-range, I think it's like 2,000 for both. Like $2,000 for the bottle art, $2,000 for the rigging, or $1,000 for the rigging. So it's like between $3,000 to $5,000. And then if you're going for high-end, high-end baby, for high-end models, it can go from like 10K to 15K dollars for the model art, and the rigging itself can go from like 5K to like, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8K. It's crazy. Charles Law, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. New Year's on its way, time of presents and change. Truly. Out drinking you would be a mini game. The tiling would need max stamina stats, but you won't get wasted. It'll just end with you complimenting the tiling player for having a high tolerance. That's cute. Do you honestly want profits from being a VTuber? I feel like you enjoy just being yourself as a VTuber, and focusing on profits would take away some aspect of enjoyment from that. Oh yeah, nah, defos. I don't think I would pursue VTubing for profits per se, but profits are nice. I think it's nice in a way where it's like you spend a lot of time on something and it actually kind of translates into something, you know what I mean? It's like a nice way of receiving something back for your whatever efforts you invest into it. But I would never pursue VTubing purely for its profits, and yeah, I don't think I would ever. It would take away, like you mentioned, it would take away from the essence of it. No, VTubing is not something I want to do full-time. I think if I do VTubing full-time, I would inevitably end up focusing on profits when things get tough. So I would rather spend less time VTubing, but do it in a very sincere sort of way. and have a full-time job on the side versus like doing it full-time. As much as it sounds like a dream, I don't want to. I like how it is right now, where I can rely on a day job salary and VTube for additional stuff if we happen to have additional revenues from it, or at least reinvest whatever revenues I make into my VTubing project, rather than have VTubing as my full-time thing and rely on it. And then when things go kind of rough, I stress over it, and then I start selling my soul, which I think is inevitably what happens, just naturally, because you gotta survive, right? Have a good one, Zoe. I was watching on YouTube and just saw that you are also on Twitch. Welcome to the Twitch side, Charles. Do you enjoy watching on YouTube more or Twitch? There's nothing wrong with hobbies sometimes making a small profit. It's like an incentive. But of course, balance is key. Honestly though, me right now, the Deep Blue, I feel like I'm very privileged because I can actually fund for whatever projects I have going forward. Like, you guys really helped me either fully fund or at least, what's the word I'm looking for? Not substitute. What is it when you kind of partially fund something? Fully fund or partially fund, or to a certain extent help me fund, subsidize, that's the word. Subsidize certain projects. Like when I get a new model, getting a new model is expensive, and sometimes you guys can fully fund, say, the rigging process or the model, or at least partially fund it, and it helps a lot. It means a lot. Doing good, Adam. How are you, Adam Kiryu? When you're selling your tail sea salt water, why do you want my sea salt tail water? I prefer Twitch mainly because the layout is better than YouTube on PC. That's fair. Have a good one, mate Ridgeway. Oh, my back hurts. Fuck me. Oh my god, those damn RDLs. These will be your voice lines. 認めよ、貴様。結構飲めるわね。Wait. I'll admit you can drink quite a lot. 認めよ、貴様。結構飲めるわね。Yeah, imagine Deep Blue dating game. That'd be fun. So many projects I would love to do. Like, I would love to make a game. I would love to make a dating sim or a visual novel. That would be super fun. But alas, those are pipe dreams, guys. Very far away. And it's nothing that I can say right now, realistically. Because we're just a small little... We're quite small right now. I'm a realistic bitch, okay? I don't try to reach towards things that... For example, if I was like a big company and a VTuber of my size ask for certain demands, I'm realistic about those sort of things, okay? So I understand what is possible and what is not with the current size in consideration. I've never seen a foxtail and fox ears that are simultaneously floofy and splashy. You mean mine? People mistake realistic people for pessimists. Yeah, I get that a lot. I don't think I'm pessimistic. I'm realistic. Because I always think of what would I think if I was in the other person's position, or say in the company's position. Would I hire me? And if the answer is no, then what the fuck am I thinking? I'm realistic in that sort of sense. I don't think I'm pessimistic. I'm very much an optimist. Would you consider doing VTubing full time, operating in a make-believe scenario of your daily bills being met or paid for? Oh my god, yes! I would. It's like, you know, the idea of, you know how back then people would just keep pet artists? Where you just have an artist living in your balcony or something, just painting for you. I would love to be that. I would. But My decision to not go into full-on VTubing is mostly me being a realist and knowing realistically what would happen if things go alright. We as titlings gotta pull together, pun intended, and develop a titling dating sim. Damn! I wonder how much dating sims cost though. To be fair, we do have a decent amount of writers in the Deep Blue. You can definitely pull off your final boss role in Deep Blue dating. Real. You know what's funny? I feel like compared to a lot of other VTubers out there, I don't really have much of a lore. Like, it's not like comprehensive and mad detailed, but I find it really intriguing that you guys managed to make so much lore out of whatever lore we have. And I love that. I love that you guys are able to say, make your own lore and also make your own assumptions about the Deep Blue and the lore of the Deep Blue and New Fortune City. I love that, even though I don't give you guys much to work with. Yeah, did you guys know that childlings can make up their own lore and post their own lore at the Deep Blue subreddit? So a lot of the childlings here you see in chat actually have their own lore and their own stories. Fun stuff. You are thinkistic. Well, that's a word now, isn't it? Oneesanistic, yes, yes. I will support your journey. Sat here in my Noira t-shirt sipping from the tumbler. Thank you for getting my merch. You can show that one day, maybe if the Deep Blue grows, you can show the OG merch that you have, that you bought way back when, right? I know of those people. Things were crazy back then for people with the money to afford it, right? I think DJ Game Boy. I like one of the tiny lore about Noira is... Oh, rum in cereal in the morning? That's not even lore. That's just a real thing I do. It's not even lore, dude. It's just fact. We call her Mrs. Mom Basic. Mom Basic. Say that she's fantastic, blessing on the back, and call us Mr. Lucky. Mantic, she's very fantastic. Is that lyrics to something that I do not know? Or are you just trying to rap? Do I have to go? Oh, our Reddit is really nice. Trust, if you have free time, if you check out our subreddit, it's very good at r/Noira. I'm not an Egyptian princess though, DJ Game Boy. I'm just a humble sea fox. Interesting that people seem to have some perceptions of me being Egyptian because of, I think, my choker and my tattoos. Funny thing is that with my 1.0, people never really made such assumptions. Maybe, I think it's a choker. I think it's the choker that's making all the difference, eh? And maybe now that I don't really have a jacket and the Sarashi is the booba bandages are showing a bit more, I guess that looks a little bit more mummified or mommified, if you want to put it that way. Ha, I made a pun. And now let me drink my wine. I'm excited because this weekend I'm going out for band practice. I haven't hung out with my bandmates for like a very long time, so I'm very excited for that. I have to study for the songs and that we're going to jam to though. So, but yeah, I'm excited. As of lately, these past few weekends have been quite packed for me. I've been meeting various groups of friends and I've been revisiting a bunch of different kinds of hobbies and sometimes even old ones and meeting new people. It's very nice. That's why you'll notice that I've been almost pretty much purely off on all social media for the weekends because I've just been mostly busy. More like your beautiful looks. Why, thank you, DJ Game Boy. What song are you gonna jam to? So one is by Wolf Boy, Chicago Summer, I believe. And the other one is, this was my request. We wanted to try doing Muse's Hysteria. I really want to do Hysteria. So one is Muse and the other one is like Wolf Boy, Chicago Summer, which is more of a funk soul sort of vibe. Neo soul almost, I think. Yeah, rhythmic and neo soul funkish. And the other one is just, haha, Muse. Those the two that we've decided on. But what usually happens with my bandmates is that we always end up like trying to cover different kinds of songs that were not really on the list in the first place. Like, and when we get confused of what to play, we always default to Digimon's song, Butterfly by Watakoji. That song. We always default to that. That is our default mode. That is like, you know, when you have your DVD player. Oh my god, I'm making myself sound old. DVD player, right? And you know when you kind of just leave it idle for a little bit too long, and then the DVD player logo starts kind of bouncing off of the corners of the screen. Yeah, that little screensaver, that's Digimon's Butterfly for us. Oh yeah, I did sing Golden live. I don't know whether it was good or not though. Don't worry, we have one coming up. We'll publish it soon, I think, once Kayla actually finishes mixing it. VHS. Ah, VHS. No, that only happened with DVD though. VHS players did not have any sort of loading or screensaver, right? I'm excited that Doro Senpai is coming over and bringing wine and whiskey. my drink stash is going to be full because I've run out of drinks, honestly. I've run out of wine, I've run out of whiskey, and I bought beer, which I don't know if I'm gonna be drinking beer for next free talk. We'll see, because I bought those beers for the weekend. But if I'm getting a bottle of whiskey when my mate comes over, I don't think I'm gonna get a bottle anytime soon. So maybe our next free stock is crazy. Maybe our next free talk stream will be powered by beer, dark beer particularly, Guinness. VHS players are mostly mechanical, yeah. Everything returns to Digimon in the end. Dread it, run from it. All will digivolve in the end. Mastery of being able to rewind the tapes to your favorite song. Wait, those are tapes. VHSs you also had to kind of turn, right? Oh, those were fun times with those memories of you accidentally overriding someone's VHS tape and getting into trouble. Or like accidentally you just took like some random VHS player and maybe finding out that it was maybe one of your parents' porn stash. No, that did not happen to me, but I'm pretty sure I think I watched about that on some fucking TV show or something, where the kid was trying to record Pokemon or something, but then it was actually porn that they wrote over. The dreaded red circle button. Ah, such were the times. Shut up, guys. You guys are making me feel old, man. Shit. Damn, I know I'm ancient, but, you know, I forget things for a reason. Part of it is, like, just nature. The other part is, like, denial. One day I got so mad, I threw my parents' porn VHS in the trash. They never asked about it. Why were you mad about their porn? That happened to me. It took me into a new world that day. VHS memories. Am I right, guys? Sounds like a Joji song or something. VHS memories. It's Clary. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Yeah, why did you have to throw away the porn? Because they sucked at hiding it and got angry when I found their porn stash by accident. Wow. No shame here. Yeah. I mean, after all, I am a supposedly immortal ancient sea fox, right? And I have been through the annals of history, and I remember the creation of time and everything like that. It's just that I have shit memory after all. Right, guys? Yeah, you would be sure to remember that. But hey, we didn't really talk about much of life today, hey? Mostly we just talked about things that make me feel old. Like VHS. And I don't know what else did we fucking talk about. A few nostalgic things, like some animes, I think. Oh, talking about Digimon, right? I'm looking forward to playing the new Digimon, and I saw that Bandai Namco has like an application for content creators. So fingers crossed, I get accepted, and maybe even get sponsored Digimon Time Stranger. Hey, that'd be nice. I want my Renamon, dude. And or maybe my little Momentai guy, Momentai bitch. What's her name? Terriamon. I would love that. Oh wait, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys, depending on how old you guys are, how many of you guys remember there being Smash Mouth's song in a Digimon movie? Because I specifically remember listening to "Hey Now, You're a Rockstar," that Smash Mouth song in a Digimon movie. But I couldn't find it on YouTube for some reason. Do you guys remember that? I was trying to actually look it up on YouTube, and because I thought that, oh, maybe there's like a YouTube video clip of the song and that part of the Digimon movie. First movie, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I remember them specifically running through like a field of yellow flowers, possibly sunflowers, right? Is that correct? Don't recall it in a Digimon movie. I do remember it being in a Shrek movie. No, it was in Digimon first, I think. I remember it made me feel like an old Dino Nagi. But was there yellow flower fields? And one of the villain virus Digimon kind of just dancing to it? Oh, end credits. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the keyword I have to use for looking it up. Because I was like looking for it to kind of prove a point, because I was trying to tell 3D Sun. I was like, no, Smash Mouth's song was in Digimon movie, but I don't know why I can't find it. And I spent like a good 5 or 10 minutes to kind of figure out whether it was really in a Digimon movie or not. And yeah, apparently it was. End credits. I'll try looking up Digimon first movie end credits and see if that pops up. But yeah, hopefully guys, we get to play some Digimon Time Stranger. It was like a bad Digimon looked like a long arm Bigfoot dancing. Oh my god, yes, I remember that. What the fuck? Isn't it so weird that we share these specific memories? It's kind of cute and wholesome though, to be fair. But yeah, I remember that specifically. I remember him having like some weird looking Digimon long arms and like kind of spirally, and have some spirally pattern to it in some part of its body. I don't remember. It's from the Digimon movie in the 2000. Okay guys, quick survey. How many of you guys are born after 2000? Do we have anyone who's young here? Or born in 2000? 2000 and above. Any of you guys? Nicola is... Oh my fucking god. Hello youngins. God damn! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god. Shit. That really does make me feel ancient. The fact that I remember a movie before you guys were even born. God damn. Shit. Alright. You already feel like an unk? Nah, fuck off. You're nowhere near an unk. Not yet, at least. You know what they say? The age of 30 is in demand. What you call as quote-unquote unk nowadays, or aunt or hag, is I think very much older than compared to like standard, say 5 or 10 years ago. I feel like uncles and aunts nowadays are a little bit more modern, don't you think? And youthful. I'd like to think. Obviously, I'm not an aunt. I'm just immortal as fuck. So I'm always older than you guys, but it doesn't mean that I don't retain my youth, you know, in mindset and in physicality. So you guys have no rights in calling me an aunt. Only oneesan. That's exactly why you guys should only be calling me oneesan. Anyone remember Titan AE animated movies from... What's Titan AE? I don't think I know what Titan AE is. Also, thank you for the time check. We do have to call it. Iron Giant movie. Iron Giant? I do remember the Iron Giant movie. Wasn't that recent? Or am I thinking of a different Iron Giant? I'm already in my 30s. I'm no longer a young bean sprout. Hey, 30s isn't demands. Okay. And a lot of people in their 30s still don't know fuck. So don't feel pressured. And don't feel bad that you're kind of lost and you're kind of doomed because you're already in your 30s. It's really not a good... I would like to say it's not a good yardstick nowadays in our current modern life. All right, I'm a go call it, guys. Let's call it. First of all, let's go to the shrine. Let me just... Chitomate. Well, let me see here. What do we have at the shrine today? We have quite a few offerings here at the Deep Blue Shrine. So thank you to everyone who have dropped offerings at the shrine. I see a big bottle of Chianti over there. Thank you for that. Actually, that's kind of like the only thing. There's a glass of whiskey, sure. But thank you, everyone who have contributed towards the shrine and dropped an offering at the shrine. Doesn't matter how small or how large. It doesn't matter. But like, I think the gesture of you guys just contributing towards the Deep Blue really matters a lot to me and means a lot to me. So thank you, guys. Thank you for your offerings towards the shrine and also bringing in new titlings into the Deep Blue for you guys who have gifted subs on Twitch or memberships on YouTube. Thank you. Now let us call it. For you guys who are new here, let me reintroduce myself. I am Noira, the Sea Fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks. If you guys like the stream, I'd appreciate it if you guys would drop a follow if you're on Twitch or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And I stream 3 times a week, consistently, same time, same days every week. So if you're free around these times and days, you can expect to find me. Or if not, I always have VODs and videos uploaded on YouTube, clips and everything like that, about live talks mostly. You can go to youtube.com/Noira. But if not, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's at 10 p.m. GMT +8 if you're in Southeast Asia. And Hara, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. That's at 7 or 9 a.m. if you're in the US. And that's 3 or 4 p.m. if you're in the EU. That's without daylight savings. I actually found you through YouTube videos. Thank you for checking me out after finding me via YouTube videos. I truly do appreciate it. And if you guys haven't already, do come and join into the Deep Blue Discord. If you guys like the vibes here during streams and the conversations that we have and the titlings that you guys get to interact with on stream, you will also find them on Discord. On Discord, we too have these deliberate sort of discussions and talks. We have a dedicated space for it. And also you guys get to pick like the notifications that you guys want to get notified for, such as my uploads or like my streams and stuff like that. So come along over to discord.gg and the titlings will warmly welcome you with open arms. Right, titlings? You fucking better. You better bring... Ekason, you better bring those fucking cheesecakes for our new titlings who come over to the Deep Blue, okay? Yeah, discord.gg/Noira. And if you say you want to find out more about my lore or like other titlings lore, you may add the Deep Blues subreddit at r/Noira. And if you want to find out about me specifically, you can at noira.me. That is my website. And that is it for today. Thanks, guys, for the good talks and the good vibes. And the crazy ass nostalgia. Not so much about live talks today, but we did have some good fun convos now, didn't we? Just good vibes all around. So thanks, guys. Thank you. And also remember, we're not a cult. Alright, let me find someone to raid into. If you guys want to join in the raid on YouTube side, come over to Twitch side to join in. Who shall we raid to today? Let us raid into... Ooh, Style is playing Pokemon ZA. So let's raid into Style. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll drink some water after I've raided. Let's raid into Style. Raid Style. Alright. Style is playing Pokemon ZA. Style is fucking cute. I'm pretty sure you guys will appreciate Style. Thank you, everyone. And I hope I get to see you guys again next for when the Deep Blue opens. Hey? Alright. See ya. Bye. See you on the flip side. Sayonara.